uwager.lv, sportsbook, and casino. Sign up today at uwager.lv, the premier online sportsbook, taking wagers since 1998. The most player-friendly lines, weekly juice specials, and a true dime line in MLB. Unique casino platforms with thousands of games. Play poker, high stakes, low stakes, or tournament play. uwager.lv, what we offer. Free same-day payouts. Customer service and wagering support, 24/7, year-round. Free monthly rebates on your action and daily casino rebates. Contests, free bets, best bonuses, and giveaways. Generous referral program. Get an 80% free play bonus on your first deposit, up to $1,000. Sign up today, and use promo code SPORTSWEB. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.
going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition, a happy
Hump Day
edition of the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. And how do we start off this show on a Wednesday night? Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense on tonight's show. I'll be joined by my co-host, Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of 1252 Chicago Sports. We'll have the legend in the building. As always, the eye of the tiger, former Coach Scout and now media member of Amped Up Sports 9 Sports Productions, Mr. Leo Haggerty. And then about 10:20, we'll have Mark Mancini, former XPW announcer, Mancini Media, and Ralph Williams, bodyguard of the Berg. And also, I hear Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy could be in the building also. And as always, we'll take your phone calls because the show doesn't go. We can sit here and talk all night long about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and about around the NFL, but we like to do it with you. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get out to my co-host here. Here we go. Mr. Harry the Greek right here.
Opa.
I don't know
Oh, my God. You almost sound like Oompa Loompa.
You know what? Don't start with me. All right.
I'm starting.
Let's go ahead and get this guy on. Here we go.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm ready.
I know you are.
You ready?
Ready. There you go, the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty. Welcome to the Evolution, gentlemen, on this happy Hump Day edition. Where do we start here? Jeez, you know, Harry, really great job there, Harry. Great camera shot, as always. Guys, we had a rumor at the beginning of the week from the Rich Eisen show saying, don't be surprised if Tom Brady comes back to the Miami Dolphins. Harry, I know how you feel about this. I want to get Leo's take. Welcome to the Sports Web. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you the latest rumor of how it's not going to happen, but we'll get back to that in a moment. Leo, Brady back with the Miami Dolphins. Squash this rumor.
Who wants him? I mean, he's a liability right now.
Wow.
He's 46 years old, can't move, can't throw the deep ball. No, he's done. Stick a fork in him. He's done.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, let's go out to Jeff Darlington because he said this the other day. The Dolphins will not be pursuing Lamar Jackson, and we'll get back to that in a moment, or any other starting quarterbacks this offseason. Multiple team sources tell me, as one source said, Mike, being Mike McDaniel, the coach of the Miami Dolphins, believes Tua is the perfect fit for this system. So now that we've got that out of the way, Tom Brady's not going to the Dolphins, and I doubt he's going to the San Francisco 49ers. But once again, you can never rule it out. But this is from Jeff Darlington, who has been all over this story. By the way, I believe he's from Seminole. So we need to try to get him on sometime because I know some other guys that are from Seminole, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, and of course right there, Mr. Harry the Greek. He has been all over this story from the very beginning. And guys, he said the only team that Tom Brady would consider at the time was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I will leave it at that. With that also being said, ding dong, the witch is dead. The human turnstile, at least last year for this team, Donovan Smith is completely done with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Leo, I got to get your thoughts, and then we'll go out to you, Harry.
One thing, Peter, be careful what you wish for.
Okay.
Again, let's see if they can bring in somebody who's better. Donovan Smith, his biggest availability was his availability. He was on the line every game. He was there. And again, the problem is right now, if you get beat as an offensive lineman, you got to hold somebody because you can't let him get a free shot at Brady. It's not like Kansas City or Buffalo where if he gets in, you just scream, look out, and, you know, the quarterback makes a move. Brady's not. He's going down. He's surrendering. He's throwing up the white flag. He looks like the French or the Italian army. Can't tell which one. But again, let's see what comes in, Peter. I'm a firm believer that let's look at this once all the shoes drop. And again, the Bucs must have a plan to drop an offensive lineman in there. But again, if you don't bring in a veteran left tackle and you start Kyle Trask, long season.
Well, long season. We've been talking about this all season. It seems like Harry the Greek, not really surprised by Smith and being cut. I mean, your thoughts about it, because we've defended him on this show, but clearly either he was injured, not all there, but he took a step back, being one of the most penalized players in the league.
You know what, Peter? When you analyze it and you really start digging in, you can really look at things holistically, especially to try to ascertain, what kind of issues this team's going to have, especially on the left side of the line. I've told you from before, there aren't many left tackles in the National Football League that can reasonably hold their blocks correctly, man-to-man coverage. I mean, not man-to-man, but man-on-man.
Sure.
So with that being said, just like Leo said, it's going to be very difficult to try to bring someone in here. Be careful what you wish for. In my opinion, I think Donovan Smith would have been fine on the left side of this line. This team just needed to run the football more. Don't be surprised.
Harry, I'm all over that with you. And
Right.
Again, keep this in mind, folks. You're talking about a 6'4" to 6'6" offensive tackle that runs probably a 5'8", 5'9", 40. That's probably 350, 360 pounds. He's trying to block a defensive end who runs a 4.47 or a 4.5 or a 4.6 that's about 240 pounds and lightning quick. If this guy doesn't respect a run, he's getting beat every play. I don't care what it is.
Well,
And
that's
again,
why I brought that up, because
Yeah,
Leo,
but-
you're absolutely correct. This team, again, and I want to stand on my soapbox and keep telling people this: 700 passing attempts, 330 rushing attempts, which 2/3 of those rushing attempts were very, 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 what's a good word for it? Predictable. They were on first downs.
Sure.
Okay. So, I mean, this offense was very predictable. And I don't have a problem. Hold on. Let me be really clear on this. I don't have a problem with a predictable offense as long as you're imposing your will on a defense. And there's nothing more deflating than a team that can run the ball and a defensive line cannot stop it, especially when they know exactly where the ball is going. And that's where Donovan Smith, and nobody out there can tell me that Donovan Smith can't run block. They just see him giving up the cheeks on the passing plays all the time because, again, 700 passing attempts, 330 rushing attempts. Nobody respects it.
But also, whether you're running or passing the ball, when you commit critical penalties at critical times, which cost this team points, which it did this year.
How many holding penalties did he get, Peter?
Holding penalties, all kinds of holding penalties.
Correct. On the holding penalties, and this is where I'm going to have you people dig. Okay, how many of them were on running plays?
Harry, you can't.
And I'll wait.
Harry, you can't run on every play, and if you're trying to
You
make
didn't have
plays
to.
down the field,
No, I
Peter,
didn't say that.
Peter,
I
I
didn't.
beg to differ with you on that. I
I
saw
didn't.
New England
You
beat Buffalo
can.
and ran it
I
about
didn't.
70 times.
You know what? I'm going to defend you, Leo. I'm going to save your voice here just for a second. You can't. You're right. I'm not asking you to run it on every play. What you want to do is slow this front seven down. Okay, you are making the defensive line, instead of pinning their ears back, saying, "All right, wait a minute, maybe I only got one ear back. Yeah, they may run it over here." Every time you start to go ahead and start to bull rush, or you're trying to rush around the edges, you're leaving 1, 2, or 3 gaps open on that defensive line. That's why I said you have to commit to the run game for this team. I know what you're going to say, and I'm on a lot of people's side when it comes to this. Donovan Smith had to go, but did he? It's
Yeah,
not
he
fair
had to
to
go.
assess.
Yeah, he had to go. Yeah, he had to go. And you know what? He took a step back ever since that Super Bowl year. And I tell you why he took a step back, gentlemen, because he didn't have Rob Gronkowski as an inline blocker, which
You just answered your question.
Right, which I've said countless times, which was a much bigger loss that was anticipated last year. We're on with Harry the Greek,
Right.
professional handicapper extraordinaire, of course, the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here on the Sports Web. Now, I think they do have an in-house option. I do not think they're going to go with
I don't want to hear about it.
Oh, yeah. Here
Tristan Wirfs from the right side to the left side.
Here we go. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN says Wirfs is open to a move. The team has discussed this change. With that being said, Tristan Wirfs, who's one of the best right tackles in the game, not only one of the best right tackles in the game, but probably your best offensive lineman on this team, moves to left tackle. What's that transition like, Leo?
For a guy who is a former collegiate wrestler, I don't think it's a problem. But, Peter, remember, if I'm Tristan Wirfs and you're telling me I'm going from right tackle to left tackle, first thing my agent is saying, that's going to cost you guys. We're going to renegotiate this contract right now.
Pay it.
Left tackles make more money than right tackles.
Agree, and you're exactly right, which brings up my next point. Harry, it's much tougher to draft a left tackle as a rookie and put him on that side unless they're Jonathan Ogden.
No one ever said that this kid can play left tackle.
Well, I'm telling you right now, this is their plan. This is probably the reason why they cut that human turnstile in a Donovan Smith, in a Tristan Wirfs. You can draft a right tackle, or you have in-house options with Luke Gedeke or somebody like that, or you can go out there and get a free agent at right tackle. So doesn't that seem to make sense? Kind of changing your tune there, Harry the Greek?
No, it does. It does make sense. But let me ask you this. I'm going to switch it back to what I'm going to say.
Sure.
What do you think? Is there more of an upside moving him to a left tackle?
Yes.
Or do you didn't let me finish. You know what? I'm not even asking you that question. I'm going to ask Leo. Leo, do you think there's more of an upside of moving that kid to left tackle? And if he ends up having a bad season, what do you do to his confidence?
You know what, Harry? That's an excellent point. And Peter, you brought up half the problem. No Rob Gronkowski. No Ali Marpet. All of a sudden,
no running the football.
The human turnstile, look to his left, look to his right, stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. He didn't see anybody he knew. So again, the Ali Marpet retirement hurt. The Gronkowski retirement hurt.
No Jetson.
A lot. But I don't think he'll have a problem moving to the left side. But again, I think the biggest issue right now is not where Tristan Wirfs lines up, it's who's under center. You got to make a decision. If it's going to be Kyle Trask, you better get a veteran tackle, period.
Yeah, well, you definitely.
There's a couple out there. There's a kid there's Brown coming out of Kansas City. He might be a viable option, depending on how much money it's going to be.
Yeah, he's not. He'll be more likely with the Chicago Bears because he wants to break the bank, and that's the reason why the Chiefs.
Chicago ain't going. The Bears aren't going to break the bank on an offensive lineman.
Absolutely would break the bank. They should break the bank on Orlando Brown Jr. because he's one of the best left tackles out there. You should do that for your quarterback if you don't want to get your quarterback killed. Absolutely, the Bears should be all in the running for that. But going back to it, for me, it's much easier to draft a right tackle, and also because you have Luke Gedeke.
That is true.
Luke Gedeke, who's played right tackle in college, you can slide him out there. Probably a better tackle than a guard. I'm just saying. All right. That was not the only thing. Of course, with this cut of Donovan Smith, it saves them $995. We'll round it up to $10 million. All in all, you have Donovan Smith, Leonard Fournette, Cameron Brate, $15 million, nearly $16 million that you cut. You still got about $40 million. So with
Is it that much?
$40 million, you're still going to have to cut off this salary. So now, Leo, what do they do to get under this cap, in your opinion? Does it start with restructuring Chris Godwin, Mike Evans? In your opinion, what do the Bucs do?
Drop back 13 and punt. That's about all they can do. They're going to have to look at people that have a contract that you can restructure. And again, here's where the media becomes a problem, guys. If a player says, I'm not going to restructure, everybody says, "Oh, you're a bad teammate. You're not a good person." But wait a second. Nobody put a gun to the head of the team to offer that contract. They're in cap hell, and they got to figure out what's going on. And the funny thing is, some of these guys, if you say, "Well, I'm not going to restructure," well, we'll cut you. Okay, there's 31 other teams I can play with.
Sure,
It's a business, and they got to understand they're 40 million over. They got to figure out how to do this, and they got to figure out how to do it without hamstringing the entire claim.
I say keep Wirfs at right tackle. I have no opinion even how to decipher what they're going to do about restructuring deals. If I was Chris Godwin or Mike Evans, I would tell Tampa Bay to go pound sand if they asked me to restructure a deal, because I'm just being honest. Okay.
I mean, I don't know why you would, because you're happy with the organization. The organization has treated you correctly. By the way, Mike Evans has done it several times to help his team out. That's why anybody putting out there that stupid rumor, which, by the way, we'll get back to that in a moment with Todd Bowles addressing that Mike Evans is on the trade block or Chris Godwin is on the trade block, should have their head examined, because Mike Evans is the perfect teammate. He's an all-time Tampa Bay Buccaneer. So we would absolutely restructure the deal because he's going to get more money up front. That's what people don't understand. People are like, oh, they're taking a salary cut. They're restructuring those years, the back years. They're getting more money up front.
They're getting more money up front and taking it away from the back end to make them easier to go away.
Correct.
And with Mike Evans,
what you got to understand about contracts is the Buccaneers' former GM, Mark Dominic, got a rule passed that the first money to come off is the guaranteed money. So again, you get down the line, they're looking at non-guaranteed money. They can restructure. And what they can do is have them play for the league minimum and give them a signing bonus. Put it over 5 years. You can prorate that. But again, all you're doing is robbing Peter to pay Paul. You've got to figure out how to get close to under the cap just to go into the season, because if you're 40 million over and you're drafting players, man, that ain't good.
Well, you have to have about $2 million in order to sign your players, and there's never been a team in NFL history that has been penalized for being over the cap. So I think they know exactly what they're doing. I think much has been made about this. Too much has been made. I get it. If you want to spend the money, you can. The Saints have shown that. We'll get back to Derek Carr in a moment, but I want to address this rumor really quick with in care of Joe Bucs fan and CBSSports.com, because Todd Bowles was asked by Pete Prisco about the fact of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin being traded. He says, I don't know where that talk came from either. Mike's been one of the best players for a long time. He's still productive at a high level. One of my favorite guys on the team. The head coach added the same thing for Chris Godwin. I don't see those two guys going anywhere. So let me put this out here for people still preaching and throwing this nonsense out there at the end of the day. Because, by the way, let me educate people out there saying they need to trade Evans and Godwin. It's a 23.7 cap hit. It makes no sense to trade both of these players, but this is coming out of Todd Bowles' mouth. It's not going to happen. So really, is that surprising? Because at the end of the day, if you want to give Kyle Trask a chance or a vet quarterback, you're not going to trade away his biggest weapons, right?
Oh, Peter, you are so bitter.
Man, I'm just saying.
God.
I mean, all you hear,
embrace it. Just embrace it. You're going to have Kyle Trask as your quarterback. Fine. Embrace it. Don't be so bitter about it.
All I'm saying is, if you're going to have Kyle Trask as your starting quarterback, it is an asinine thought to think that you should trade Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. If you're going to tear the whole freaking thing down, tear it down, throw Trask in there so he can fail. But if you want Kyle Trask or another halfway decent quarterback to come in here and be productive and help the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you're not going to trade away the two biggest weapons. Leo.
You know what, Peter and Harry?
Yes, sir.
Somebody in that room has got to just look Jason Light and the Glazers in the eye and saying, is it time to blow this up and start from square one? Because if you're trying and having to cut guys that are productive players just to get under the cap, you're going to get killed. So again, I think the big decision will have to be made. Okay, are we reloading? Are we retooling? Or are we rebuilding? And that's, once they make that decision, then you'll see some things happen. Because I still say And Harry, I got to disagree with you. I don't think the quarterback that lines up under center is on this roster right now.
Wow. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, if you notice right there,
Go
it
ahead,
says
Harry.
Kyle and Baker. That's who I think it's going to be,
Baker
Kyle
Mayfield.
and Baker
Okay.
Mayfield.
Okay.
And
Go ahead.
I'll take Baker
Harry, I
Mayfield
don't disagree
right
with you
now.
on that.
I would love to see Baker Mayfield.
Well,
here
here's
in
the thing with
Bucs
Baker
uniform.
Mayfield. Previous reports would suggest that the Rams want him back. Also, the San Francisco 49ers. So you could be in a bidding war with a couple teams there. So I don't know. I would take Baker Mayfield, but at the end of the day, I think I got the answer to the quarterback. And I know before anybody says this, let me go full screen. Let me go full screen here really quick. Before anybody says anything about Cap, because I'm about ready to choke myself if I have to hear about Cap, the perfect quarterback out there right now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is none other than Lamar Jackson. And I'm going to tell you why.
Oh my God.
Non-exclusive tag. Give up the 2 first-round picks. Anybody out there in their right mind, I cannot believe I'm saying this. The Atlanta Falcons are not interested. Really? The Carolina Panthers are not interested. The Raiders are not interested. The friggin' Washington Commanders, who traded for friggin' Carson Wentz, are not interested in Lamar Jackson. Let me tell you something. The Bucs should be interested at all costs. The Glazers should do everything they can to go get a 25-year-old, 26-year-old quarterback who's highly dynamic. He's never had a number 1 wide receiver yet, let alone a second wide receiver. I don't care how much you have to pay him. I don't care how many picks you have to give up. It's not a rookie quarterback. You've already went down that road. You're putting your faith in a guy that's thrown 9 passes. Again, everybody wants to give it a chance. If you want to win now, you go with Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. Leo, your thoughts?
You know what, Peter? If that happens, your offensive line gets 100% better right now. Knowing all they got to do is get that guy to go one direction or the other, because Lamar will make his own plays. You know what, Peter? I'm not going to disagree with you on that, but I'm looking at another one. I think Jimmy Garoppolo would be a great fit here, because it's a little bit of the West Coast scheme. You got a guy from Seattle coming in as the offensive coordinator. He's seen Garoppolo. He knows what he's got. And again, Garoppolo doesn't break the bank. There's got to be more to Lamar Jackson. I think the biggest problem is they're dealing with family. He doesn't have an agent. It's his mom. And that gets to be a little bit dicey when you're trying to matriculate through a contract.
Listen to you using big words there, SAT words there by Leo. And I tell you right now, my mom is watching the show right now. Mom, I'd rather have you as an agent because you actually know my value, let alone these guys, these general managers out there who want to treat this like a coaching spree, right? I mean, you want to hire a recycled coach. You want to get a recycled quarterback, Atlanta Falcons. Marcus Mariota has never done anything in this league. You went after Deshaun Watson, who had over 20 allegations sexually off the field, and you're not interested in a guy who's been the MVP of the league and won a playoff game. Harry, make some sense of it.
Well, first off, I want to talk to you about a quarterback that I think would be a better fit for this team. I just think, and I told you guys this, I've stood in a soapbox and said it, they should trade for Davis Mills. You're going to have a starter for the next, I can't tell you how many more years out there. The guy could flat out play. He was still one of the better quarterbacks in that draft class, and he played for an absolutely atrocious team with the Houston Texans. Now, that's a quarterback that I would be to see really excited. Now, do I want to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in financial hell with Lamar Jackson as their quarterback? No, I wouldn't. I'm not enamored with him. And it's about time, and this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, it's about time that these owners finally did something with these ridiculous contracts that are going out there. Really? Jones gets $160 million, but you're telling me that Lamar Jackson, who's much better quarterback, can't even get a contract? That's because he wants to break the bank of what Deshaun Watson did last year because Cleveland was so desperate. And let me be very clear on this, Peter Blake. He is not better than Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson is a creep.
He is by far, because
not even his skill set isn't even close to
NFL
Watson.
MVP. He's won a playoff game. Watson has been out the last 2 years. You're telling me
He's an NFL MVP with his legs, not that arm, Peter.
He's a quarterback, and it works in this league. And if he went to Tampa, he would absolutely blow it up. And if there's anybody out there saying they're not interested in a 26-year-old former MVP quarterback, because by the way, guys, they grow on trees. I'd rather have somebody that's like Marcus Mariota or pass on Justin Fields, Atlanta Falcons. That's okay. And go and try to get somebody else, a retread quarterback or Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder couldn't hold Lamar Jackson's drop strap. Honestly, and we really talk.
I agree with you, but
here's the thing:
I'm tired of hearing people talking about, well, how come he's not going to get this kind of deal? Because he's trying to break the bank.
He deserves the deal.
Baltimore, not that kind of deal.
Why? Why doesn't he deserve it?
No, because he doesn't. Sorry.
Sorry. I think it's collusion.
Really? He's lost collusion. I'm glad they did finally, Peter. Why? Let me be the first one to go ahead and put it out there, because these contracts are becoming ridiculous. You're going to pay Aaron Rodgers a couple $100 million at 39 years old.
Yes.
You're going to pay Deshaun Watson, overpay him because of a desperation. You just got done paying $160 million to Daniel Jones.
Right.
And now you're going to get another quarterback who's going to be a $300 million guy. Stop it.
And the teams out there were willing to give money to Daniel Jones, to Derek Carr, to Geno Smith, and Lamar Jackson has done far more than any of those quarterbacks. And I don't care if the Cleveland Browns had that quarterback signed.
You just said a bad word with Derek Carr.
What's up?
Okay. Derek Carr threw the same amount of touchdowns and interceptions than the identical stats that the New Orleans Saints, both quarterbacks who played last year, or all three, and you just opened up the tunnels and said, hey, we're going to go ahead and pay you a whole bunch of money when you currently had the same production with a lesser team.
They backloaded that deal.
I understand that, but
it is. And here's the thing. They feel like he's the best quarterback in this division, which they're probably right. My point is the owners are colluding, but you can't tell me when that non-exclusive tag was announced that every team comes out, the Atlanta Falcons, the Commanders, the Panthers, and say, oh, we're not interested in a 26-year-old quarterback. What the hell are you talking about? I don't care if Deshaun Watson got all that guaranteed money. Tough luck, owners. You allowed that idiot in Cleveland to allow that deal to happen. That's the market. If quarterbacks are getting $40 to $50 million, Lamar Jackson deserves just as much or more.
It's showing that they want 25% more than what Deshaun Watson got. Okay?
He should get
That's what it's saying. No, he shouldn't. Not to miss that many ball games, and his skill set isn't there. It's not the same skill set.
How many games did Watson miss with all the allegations off the field?
A whole year.
Peter, throw that out the window.
2.5 years.
You got a quarterback with a bad knee.
Yep.
Missed the game, rest of the season with a bad knee. First thing you got to do if you're interested is you better have a doctor look at him real quick and see if he can pass a physical. My thing is, I'm not paying this guy $50 million. It's just not happening. I can't do that. I think I could probably be in the $24, $25 million range. But what happened is the agents bamboozled the owners and said, okay, here was the last one. We got to go higher. We got to go higher. We got to go higher. And none of the owners sat down and said, no, we don't. This is what's going to happen. And the problem is, Peter, one of the owners is going to be stupid enough to give him that kind of money. Yep. And then, the Bucs can't afford it. Plain and simple.
I think, and you know what?
If they want to afford it, they can, because Rock Riley said something the other night which caught my eye, and we heard it both, Harry. The reason why they put up with Tom Brady and some of that nonsense, because they made that money. So I'm expected to think here, gentlemen, that the Glazers, who own, by the way, Manchester United, a piece of Manchester United, okay, they have all this money. Did they sell them off, or did they still have it? They made all this money off of Tom Brady and all these wins and all these playoff appearances, but yet they're in cap hell. I'm supposed to believe that when basically the quarterback is there for the taking. You don't have to tank this year to get somebody. I get it's a cheaper contract, but you have a 26-year-old quarterback for the picking, and all you have to give up is 2 first-round picks. Because at the end of the day, guess what? I'm giving up 2 first-round picks, but I have confidence that my team is going to be a lot better. They're not going to be a top 10 team. And I get it. Lamar Jackson does have an injury history the last 2 years, And there's people out there saying, well, he quit. He didn't quit. He made a business decision. The Ravens weren't going to pay him. So you know what? He decided to take his ball to go home. But he
Peter,
said,
did you ever think, Peter, that he just wants too much money?
What is too much money at the end of the
Let's
day?
analyze this. They know Baltimore knows he's their
It's
franchise
inflation,
quarterback.
baby. It's inflation. We thought that Patrick Mahomes wanted too much.
Peter, let me throw this out. You're talking about all the money the Glazers got off of Brady with the playoffs. They got zero money the year they won the Super Bowl. Zero.
Nothing for the Super Bowl at all.
They were the visiting team every time. Zero. Nothing. Last year, 2 years ago, they got 2 games, the Eagles and the Rams.
Okay.
This year, they got 1 game, okay? So we're not talking about a boatload of money here. But Peter, he'd be a great fit for the Bucs. But the things you'd have to give up to get him, I don't think you can.
Would you do it? Would you do it?
When John Gruden came to this team, I said they gave up 2 number 1s. I said, as a fan, great. They won the Super Bowl. As a coach and a scout, and I said, this is a terrible move because you are going to they're done for like 3 or 4 years because you got no first-round picks. And guys, I think this is a moot point because whoever gives him a contract, Baltimore's going to match.
Well, they should match it. But
if Baltimore would match, and everybody keeps on saying this, and Adam Schefter came out today and said, in like the 30 to 35 years, there's only been one player, that's Sean Gilbert, who got another team to sign a non-exclusive tag, which at the time I believe was Washington, and he went on to go to Carolina, which, by the way, is the uncle of Darrelle Revis, who also got into a contract dispute with the New York Jets, is throwing it out there. And he also won his case when he got traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which, by the way, the Bucs traded number one pick for Darrelle Revis, but they've done it in the past. They did it with John Gruden, with trading 2 number 1s, and they also did it for Keyshawn Johnson. This is the right move. If you're the general manager, Leo Haggerty, right now, you're Jason Light, you have Lamar Jackson on the phone, you have the Ravens. What are you doing to get him? Are you trading those 2 number 1s to get the 26-year-old franchise quarterback?
I am definitely doing my due diligence. I am calling up the Ravens. Yes, I think they need to do that with every quarterback out there. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I think what the Ravens have done, and this is the smartest move in the world, they let everybody else negotiate for them. So instead of, no one's going to pay him $50 million. That's not going to happen. So the number's going to be somewhere in the high 20s, low 30s. And when that contract comes out, the Ravens will say, thank you. We're picking them up.
Well, and again,
and this is where I want to make my point.
Yes.
If the New York Jets don't get Aaron Rodgers, they will be the first to roll out the red carpet, and they are going to screw up the quarterback market even more than what the Cleveland Browns did. They will give them 2 first-round draft picks, and they will give them that $50 million, and then Baltimore's going to say, nope, you're gone. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. You're only going to have a handful of quarterbacks after year 3 or year 4 that are going to be extreme superstars. And then you're going to have your mediocre quarterbacks that aren't even mediocre, like Daniel Jones, collect huge contracts like that. And all they're going to do is release them and then draft another quarterback.
That's it.
You are absolutely going to kill the market. Collude, owners. You need to collude and put an end to this madness. There is no player in the history of football, Peter, that is worth $250 million. I'm sorry. It's just not worth it.
You're worth what they pay you at the end of the day. And if the market is set the way it is, oh, well, you got your hand caught in a cookie jar. Now you got to pay the contract. And by the way, defending the owners, collude. You mean the multi-billion-dollar owners, which, by the way, are getting TV money hand over fist. You want to tell an owner, you want to make an owner squirm. You say, show me your books. And 10 times out of 10, my friends, they tell you to pound sand. And that's exactly what they're doing with Lamar.
And they should, Peter.
They should
Okay,
not.
you know what? I'm not going to get all political, but let me tell you something, okay? And a former president before he ran back in 2000, and I'm not, you know what? I'm not even going to tell you who it was.
Please don't.
Okay, but let me explain something to you. Everybody's got to stop worrying about how much money someone has. Everybody's got to stop. You've got to do for yourself and earn what you're going to make. But there should be a cap on how much money you should make, because all you're doing is hurting the rest of everybody else. And I'm kind of dancing around here. But let me ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen. When was the last time a poor person walked up to you and said, "Hey, you want a job?" That's the point I'm trying to make. Stop worrying about it. At some point, it's not financially conducive. Do you know what's going to happen in 10 years, Pete? You're going to have $750 million contracts for a quarterback.
That's the market. That's the market. That's the reason why it's $1 billion business at the end of the day.
I don't want to hear when people can't even afford to go to a game and they're going to sit in the 350 section in Tampa Stadium, and a regular season ticket on a team that's 0-16 or 0-17 is going to go for $1,000. Because that's what's going to happen.
It's not going to happen for long, because the Glazers would lose all kinds of money. The fact of the matter is, to sit here and defend owners that are billionaires where you don't even know how much money they're going to make, and all you hear is, well, we got a cap. No, it's about how much money they want to spend. I am truly convinced of that because of what the Saints have done the last 5 to 10 years. All right, with that being said, let's talk about the quarterback move, because it's getting real passionate in here on the sports web. Derek Carr, in your opinion, Leo Haggerty, the best quarterback in this division?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And look what Vegas did right away. They made the Saints the prohibitive favorite to win the NFC South. And I got to agree with them. It was a great move by the Saints to bring them in.
Yeah. I mean, it makes lots of sense for me. I mean, and again, the way they structured the contract itself, it's not going to affect him this year. It may affect him down the road. He may not even see the contract. And I get what Harry's trying to say.
Oh, Peter, he's not going to see the end of that contract.
No, of course not.
And he knows that.
Right.
But he knows that going in.
Right. They're trying to win now. With that being said, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers, because I know how Harry feels about Derek Carr. Aaron Rodgers with the New York Jets. Is this going to happen? Have the Green Bay Packers, Leo, finally turn the page on Green
Bay sucks.
Aaron Rodgers is a Jet.
If Green Bay does that, stick a fork in them. They're done. They don't have the replacement. It's not like when Brett Favre left and Aaron Rodgers got plugged in. You got no replacement. Jordan Love? No, he's not ready. We saw that. So I think he stays with Green Bay, because Green Bay, you got to understand, that's a Wisconsin team. And you get away with Aaron Rodgers, and all of a sudden this team comes out of the gate 2-7, 2-8. Man, Wisconsin may secede from the Union.
You know what? I got to say, that's a really good one. I got to tell you, I'm the one that was telling everybody this is all a smoke show. It happens every year. Go drink some Kratom and tell me how you feel holistically, whatever, Aaron. But this is what happened this week. The New York Jets have already sought and asked permission, and Green Bay has authorized it.
Yes.
Okay. Their executives and their coaching staff is in Wisconsin or wherever. He could be in Indonesia somewhere on the side of a mountain.
You're an idiot.
Same thing. California, Indonesia. I mean, give me a break.
He's in the dark room. He's coming out of the dark room.
But what I'm trying to say is that there might be some truth to this, because whatever there's smoke, there's fire. I didn't think it was ever going to happen, but as you could tell, the smile on my face, I hope he goes.
Oh, yeah. Because all of a sudden, those other 3 teams, and believe me, keep an eye on the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
Those guys have it going right now.
Keep an eye on the Chicago Bears. Going back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they choose not to franchise Jamel Dean. They didn't franchise Levante David. Not really a surprise. At 19 right now, what's the biggest need for this team? Could it be linebacker? Could it be edge rusher? Could it be offensive tackle?
Offensive lineman.
Or could it be cornerback? Here you go first.
Offensive lineman, plural. Let me say it again. Offensive lineman, plural. offensive lineman. Next.
Okay, Leo, what do you say? Offensive lineman or cornerback or possibly even safety? Because safety, they don't even have a position there yet.
You could never have enough defensive backs. That's the bottom line. Also, you can never have enough offensive linemen. You work from the ball out. Where's the ball? Right in front of the quarterback. You better protect him. You better get some offensive linemen. And what does that quarterback do with the ball? If he's got time, he's going to throw it down the field. Better get some defensive backs.
All right, good stuff there, Leo. I know you got to run here. Go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend.
Well, I'm starting to get around. I had my first 3 meal a day today.
Nice.
Today. You know, if you call a bowl of graham crackers, soup, and some stir fry, 3 meals, I'll take it. Sunday, we're going to be out at USF with the girls for the watch party for the selection show.
Nice.
And Peter, you've seen what I'm thinking. I'll tell you what, if Clemson does not get into the tournament and some of these other has-beens that are like 9th and 10th in their conference get in, there needs to be an investigation. So
there should be.
Go ahead.
On that, I will leave you, gentlemen. It's always a pleasure. Harry, I hope the Bears get better. I just don't think they are.
Oh,
yeah.
Leo
Right,
Haggerty, the legend himself.
That's all right, Leo.
Parting words there for Harry the Greek. Good stuff there as he's on a pitch count. We got to build him up. He's one of our ace pitchers that we're going to build him up. I tell you what, let's go out to these comments here. We've been neglecting you. Open phone lines. It's been getting passionate tonight. I've thrown it out there, whether it's right or wrong. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just saying how I feel. I feel like, look, if there's a 26-year-old quarterback out there, as a team, you got to do your due diligence to make it happen. And I feel like it would be a perfect situation for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you say? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, the other number, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Roger Shue says, first, let's acknowledge him.
Acknowledge me.
Let's go out to Troy here, says first. No, you're not.
This guy sucks.
Let's go out to Roger. Lamar to the Bucs. Laugh out loud. Don't laugh. I'm just saying, make this quick. AEW is on, and I'll make this quick.
Shut up.
Eric says, great show. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Pewter Blake. I've heard that before. Thank you for the nickname. Appreciate it. Roger says Smith will go on to be a Pro Bowler like so many other Bucs that left this dump. I tell you right now, I'm hoping he does go on to be a Pro Bowler, but for this team last year, yeah, I do. I don't care. Because for this team last year, he absolutely cost this team not only points on the board, but possibly some victories. Let me go out to Roger Shue. Roger, leading it off tonight on the Evolution. You're with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek professional handicapper extraordinary.
Well,
yes.
Now you can acknowledge me in person.
Well, acknowledge that I got more billables than you. How about that?
Acknowledge me.
Huh? You think I forgot today? You wanted to talk trash on the text. I took you out. I took you out back.
You worked an hour longer than me.
Right, and I still killed your ass. I still had you beat by 5:30. So stop talking nonsense
here.
That's what you are, right
the
there.
Jameis Winston of our job.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I am 100% agreeing with the Greek.
Of course.
Why are you agreeing with the Greek?
Because I'm intelligent and I'm not a homer.
I'm not a homer. I'm not saying I'm a homer. You think, wait a minute, let me get this straight. You think that 26-year-old quarterbacks grow on trees. These teams right here, the Falcons, Panthers.
We agree with you. Is it easier? Is it better? We agree.
I'm not telling you to agree. I'm trying to read this question off to you guys.
Are you saying to me that there's not the possibility that Kyle Trask comes out and does a Brock Purdy?
I'm not saying it's not a possibility, but right now, here's what we know about.
So you'd rather waste $40 million a year on a maybe?
It's not my first. It's not my money. Okay. Second, it's not a lot of money for a franchise quarterback because that's the market.
Who says he's a franchise quarterback? He's got a bad leg.
Oh my God, he's been the MVP of the league and he's won a playoff game. You paid Deshaun Watson, who is a complete and total pervert, over $200 million guaranteed.
First of
Get
all,
the hell out of here.
Watson was accused. He was never convicted.
Listen, man, I'm telling you right now. You see
that thing on your head? You are like getting fired up, Peter. You got like this vein. You get this vein popping right across your forehead.
It's called passion. We say 3 things on this show.
Don't do it.
Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any
nonsense. Bullshit. I mean, nonsense.
Okay. What Roger right now is saying to me is that he doesn't think Lamar Jackson is a franchise quarterback, and I'm expected to believe that all these teams that are quarterback needy at this juncture
all
don't
of those teams agree with me.
Right? No, all the owners agree with you because they want to lower the market.
Look at that vein.
They want to lower the market. What else, Roger?
Harry's just cracking me up.
Me?
Oh my God!
You're easily influenced and easily entertained. What can we say about you?
Creek, just do me a favor. Do all of us watching a favor. Please try to educate this child. He's stubborn.
Okay,
now I've tried
up on you because you called me a child, but I got a child for you right here.
This guy sucks.
I got a child for you right here.
Suck right there.
I got a child for you right here. I got a child for you right here. I got a child.
Great show, you guys. Keep it up. Great conversation. It was good to see Leo, and I'm glad he's doing great.
Thank you.
And I'll keep watching. And Greek, hang in there, brother.
I always do. It's kind of difficult sometimes.
Remember, you're the prognosticator, not the homer.
What are you telling? Will you shut up and be quiet? I'll hang up on you. How about that?
Oh, he's got a point. He's got a point. When I'm on the left side,
I want to take a point and stick it right in my eye after hearing Roger talk and you talk at the same time. Seriously. All right. Good. Roger says, Greek, enlighten us. Greek, enlighten us on what? Donovan Smith is a highly inconsistent player. He played terrible last year. The Bucs deserve to move on from him. They turned the page. All right. Troy says, no way Smith is actually garbage. I actually agree with freaking Troy.
Flawless victory.
Oh, my God. Hell is frozen over at this point, and Troy is the devil.
All right, so you got Troy on your side, and I have Roger on mine. I still like my chances a wee bit better.
Okay. Roger says, hit the like button. Super chats are open. Support this content so we can keep bringing it to you. Absolutely. Super chats are open. Facebook stars. Troy says, Peter brings us this content, not you. You're just sitting on the couch and eat potato chips. Come on, Troy. You know, I liked you. Now I got to do this.
This guy sucks.
All right, let's go out to Roger here. Glad you think that, Troy, if you only knew. Troy, again, this year is 2087, and Peter is still talking about Brady and Gronk coming back to the NFL.
That's good enough to suck right there.
I'm not the only one, Troy. I hate to tell you, buddy. Newsflash, they're going to continue to talk about Tom Brady until he officially goes off into the sunset. Until then, it's open here on the sports web. KR says, evening, guys. What's up, KR? How you doing?
Yeah.
Here we go. Super chats by Roger Shoe, $10. See how easy that is, ladies and gentlemen? You give a super chat, you give $10, and it makes the show that much better.
Now he's your friend again, huh?
Facebook star. Roger's always my buddy. We go back and forth, but that's my buddy right there.
Acknowledge me.
I still disagree with him. I still think
you
he's
can't even buy a Happy Meal for $10.
I can buy a Happy Meal for $10.
That's right. You can.
Yes, I can. I definitely can. I'm a budget on that. I can budget that. Now, as far as the salary cap, I'm not going to budget that. Okay. Let those guys over there at $1 place budget that. Hey, Troy, this is a super chat. Try it sometimes. Troy, again, me and Peter are real buds since high school, home of the Rams. See, I know this guy. This guy knows me or something because I don't know how he would know that.
Because you've talked about you went to Ridgewood High.
Well, maybe that too.
You went to Ridgewood High in a town called No Place Really.
That's right. Troy, you're not a good liar or troll. Troy, again, next person we need to cut is Levante David. Dude has been a ghost since the Super Bowl. Do you agree with this troll here?
Next.
Okay. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. What's going on, Christopher? Roger Shoe says, hey, Christopher Cole, good to see you, dude. Absolutely. Mike says, keep Warps at right tackle. You keep him at right tackle or you move him to left? To me, I'm moving my best offensive tackle to left tackle.
I say you put him over. You leave him on the right side because I think do I think he could play left tackle? Yeah, but if it doesn't work, bro, I'm telling you, just ruined one of the better offensive linemen in football.
I'm telling you not, because Tristan Wirfs is a
That was
fighter.
just my opinion.
He's right. He's mentally strong. I definitely think he can handle it. Case in point, he was a rookie coming out of Iowa, drafted 13th overall in Tom Brady's first year here with the Bucs as a rookie, and he did a bang-up job. In fact, he was one of the main reasons why that Bucs team won the Super Bowl that year. So I think he can handle it. Troy says the NFL Combine is so stupid, especially the 40-yard dash. When you've seen players running a real game with no pads and a helmet, laugh my ass off. What do you think about the NFL Combine? Underwear Olympics, is he right about that? Okay, I'll give him some.
Flawless victory.
All right, so Facebook user, I don't know who this is exactly. I think this is, let's see here who this is.
I can't figure it out.
Carlos Reyes on I Love St. Pete. Thanks a lot for tuning in, Carlos. Appreciate you.
What's
Mike,
up, Carlos?
I know this will be a stretch, but could you see us get Orlando Brown at the left spot? I could.
Too much money.
Too much money, and I see him going to who? The Chicago Bears. First and foremost, why wouldn't you like Orlando Brown Jr. on the left side? Well, the bang-up job that he did with the Kansas City Chiefs. Because that was the reason. By the way, that was the reason why Patrick Mahomes stayed clean, because that offensive line, including Brown Jr., didn't give up a sack versus that vaunted Philadelphia Eagles defense. So why not?
I do believe he gave up 6 sacks this year.
6 the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that.
And I think he had a PFF grading. By the way,
yes,
I think there's someone out there that'd be really proud of me that I could recite other people's stats. I think it was like a high 70.
It was probably higher than that.
No, that's what from what I understand.
Or like a 78. That's higher than Donovan
something
Smith.
like that.
It's higher than Donovan Smith. Would you take that? I take that in a heartbeat, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. Again, left tackles don't grow on trees, which is why I'm willing to move a right tackle to the left tackle, because it is probably the most important position on the football field.
Let me say this, Peter.
Yes.
Okay?
Go ahead.
If he would have been a better left tackle, they would have did this a while ago.
Done it for a while ago? Well, I think they were just waiting for the chance. I think they're just waiting for the chance. I think they felt like Donovan Smith was improving, which he did in the Super Bowl year, and then he's regressed every year afterwards. And maybe he was one of those players that Todd Bowles was talking about that was still, remembering the Super Bowl, still not getting over that. Maybe he was one of those players. Maybe that's the reason why he's not a part of this team.
Could be.
But because he was still going off that history. Just saying, again, Carlo, or let's see here. All right. Let me read these comments. Godwin to the Bears.
This guy sucks.
Please educate them, Peter H. Blake. That's Carlos there. I would definitely do that. Oh, Peter is preaching. Amen, brother. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Pete, quit being a homer.
This guy sucks.
They already have made that decision. They have said they are not rebuilding. All right. I agree. They're clearing the books this year while trying to stay as competitive as possible. That's
all I've said.
Right. But again, if you have the unique opportunity to have a 26-year-old quarterback out there,
I'm not going to keep pounding that narrative, Pete.
The same. I'm just saying, but I get what you're saying. I understand it. Peter going off tonight, they got him going. They got me going, man. I just, if it's not the Bucs, okay, fine. I understand that situation. But the freaking Atlanta Falcons, really? 28-3, you chicken hawks out there? You passed on Justin Fields? You went with a retread like Marcus Mariota, and now you're going with Desmond Ridder over Lamar Jackson? Or you're going to possibly go with one of these quarterbacks in the draft, and you think they're better than Jackson? Are you freaking serious? The Panthers, what needs to be said? They went with Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. That's all that needs to be said. What? You paused. Okay. I'm sorry. Am I scaring you? Do you need to go in the corner?
No.
Okay.
No.
You sure?
Just don't hit me again, please.
You all right?
Yeah, just don't hit me again.
You're so sensitive tonight.
Is there an adult in the room?
I swear to goodness, man, you are so sensitive tonight, man. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
Well,
sorry about that, man.
I've been sensitive. I have reasons to be sensitive. I have reasons to be sensitive lately.
Yeah, I bet you do. Trade for Mills. If they don't,
wow.
Is the answer.
Hold on. Someone's smart out there.
Let me go out to this comment, because this is obviously I love Dave to death, but he's definitely a fan of what you're saying, which is certainly possible. Trade for Mills. If they don't think Trask is the answer, he could be had for a 3rd-round pick. Right now, you would have your starter for the next 10 years. The guy can play. All right, so I'll give you that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, give it to him again because I said so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you this.
This guy sucks.
How about that? Peter, calm down. You're going to stroke. I'm not going to stroke. I tell you what, I'm going to.
and Kyle, will you trust?
Oh, just shut up and be quiet.
This guy sucks.
Laugh out loud, Roger. KR says I'm on the fence with Lamar. I mean,
Another smart comment.
Fence. He didn't say he was against it. He was on the fence. I understand where people
I know. Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
Only when it comes to my opinion, you don't.
No, I understand both opinions on this show. When did I say, hey, Jerry? We trust, blah, blah, blah. Baker Mayfield and Davis Mills. I'm willing to give it a chance. I'm just telling you right now. Answer this question for me right now.
Sure. Whatever you want to know, Pete.
Lamar Jackson, Kyle Trask, or Davis Mills? Honest. Be honest.
For this franchise?
This franchise right now.
You can't afford them, so that's a very
Forget about
point.
that. Forget about it.
If they could afford them, I'd say Lamar Jackson.
Okay, thank you very much. Let the truth set you free, as Jim.
What?
Carrey. Yes.
All right, now let reality set you free.
Well,
he ain't coming to Tampa Bay. They don't have the money to pay for it. So truth set me free. Let reality set you free, Peter.
Tell me this. How do the Saints afford a Derek Carr? How do they afford guys every year and the Bucs can't or other teams can't? By the way, answer this question for me. How do teams like the Atlanta Chicken Hawks, yeah, I'm going to call them that. Yeah, the Atlanta Chicken Hawks, Kentucky Fried Chicken, because by the way, Brady fried your ass in the Super Bowl 28-3. I'm just going to let you Falcon fans know that. The Panthers, the Commanders, the Raiders, and the Dolphins. The Dolphins, I'll give you a pass on because they got a quarterback. But the friggin' Washington Commanders, you traded picks for Carson Wentz.
Peter, I hear that Dan Marino wants to come out of retirement. Can we give him a case to want to come back and play for Tampa? Maybe
he's more proven than anything.
I just let reality set in, okay, buddy.
Points. 26-year-old quarterback, man. Here we go. Sign Winston.
He's a great running back.
No.
How about no?
KR says it's the money that scares me. I mean, again, I understand the money aspect, but it's not our money. I mean, they have money. If they want to make money, they're going to be able to look. If you want to make money, you got to spend money. You want the top quarterback, or you want a guy that's thrown 9 passes. It's up to you.
So it's 7 games in the season, and you're 5-2 with Lamar, and oh no. He blows his hamstring out again. Hold on. Now, who's getting you across the finish line? Oh, wait a minute. That's right. We're in a division that we could finish a game under 500 to make the playoffs. But wait a minute. Anything can happen in the playoffs.
Anything can happen in the playoffs.
Listen, I'm just letting you hear what everybody was saying.
That's what you're stirring up right there. That's you tonight. That's
I'm the chef. I am the chef of the shit soup.
There you go. All right. Let's see here. Troy says the best fit for the Bucs is Case Keenum or Brian Hoyer. Once again,
that's good enough to suck right there.
Troy.
I'm starting to like Troy today.
Yeah. Trask going to do a Brock Purdy watch and see. I hope he does. But if he doesn't do a Brock Purdy.
We can tell, Peter.
What? I hope he does. I really do. I hope he does a Brock Purdy because there's not been a player in the last 35 freaking years who's done it. Oh, you count Tom Brady. Okay, Tom Brady. What else? What other player has done that? Oh, nobody else. Oh, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy did it this year. Oh, it means that every quarterback's going to do it. Get the hell out of here. Roger, nah. Kyle, not the guy, says KR. Harry, how is the kitchen always clean and spotless? Because he's not a pig like you.
Because I have a lot of extra time on my hands.
There you go. All right, so let's go out to the phone lines here. Welcome to the Evolution. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Peter and Harry the Greek. This is Kevin or KR.
All right, what's up, KR?
What's up, KR?
The comments. How you guys doing?
Doing great, buddy.
Okay, let's think about this, right?
Yeah.
Trask is supposedly our starter. I honestly just don't see the future with this kid. I get everybody saying that he has a huge upside, but in Florida, he struggled behind Felipe Franks before he became the starter at Florida.
Correct.
And after that, you have now Anthony Richardson taking over the job for Trask. I just don't know what the way this offense is built now with our new OC. Is he going to be able to relate to that concept? I just don't see it. And Trask is not
love to answer this.
I've never seen it in my life. I'm like I said, I'm on the fence about Lamar. I'm open to it, but it's just the money. I don't see this team and these owners to spend the money for this talented guy. I just don't see it. The Glazers have always been cheap. If the dad was still around, trust me, I think Lamar would definitely might be a Buccaneer, but with the kids in charge, I think they're just going to be very cautious of the best and go best player available, or maybe trade for Davis Mills if he is on the block.
I love this guy, and I want to answer his question. First
Sure,
off, KR, one of the few people that actually know what they're talking about. No pun intended here, guys.
Oh, really? Going after me, huh?
Oh, yeah. Right now I am. Okay,
Oh, yeah?
Mister.
Okay.
Let the truth set you free.
Yeah,
okay?
let the truth set you free.
Listen.
Didn't like that.
Let me help you out a little bit about Kyle Trask. Nobody knows what he's going to be like under center. But what I can tell you is this. You don't have to be a superstar quarterback with this particular type of offensive mentality that the new offensive coordinator, my brain's not working. Dave Canales is going to bring.
Let the truth set you free again.
And it's going to be a really good running football team. You see, what the problem has been in the past year and a half with the Tampa Bay Buccaneer organization is that they're throwing the ball all over the place. Again, I know you've been listening to the show. 700 pass attempts last year, 330 rushing attempts, and 2/3 of those rushing attempts came on first down. I'm telling you, after week 4 of last year, KR, I have watched so much tape. You will never find a DB or a safety even peeking into the backfield to see if nobody bid on play action with Tampa anymore. This team will run the football. That's why you don't need a superstar quarterback in this offense. If you play defense with this team and they have a successful running game, as long as you have Godwin on one side and Mike Evans on the other, I think this team is going to be set up so well, it's not even funny. And I'm going to tell you right now, this team still wins 10 ball games.
I'm so glad you said run the ball because you get the best running quarterback out there. And then you have a 2-3 pronged attack there because you can go with Lamar Jackson.
You're right, Peter. Lamar Jackson, I've already said it, the Lamar Jackson would be it's going to be great. But get off of La La Land and wake up from this dream that you're laying down in.
Because
they're not going to get him because of that money.
I mean, it was never possible for Tom Brady to go to the Bucs. It wasn't possible for them to get Gronk. It wasn't possible for them to get Antonio Brown. It wasn't possible for them to get Leonard Fournette. It wasn't possible for them to trade 2 first-round picks for Keyshawn Johnson. It wasn't possible for them to trade 2 first-round picks and 2
Lamar Jackson comes to this team. They start 5-2, and all of a sudden, oops, I got a blown hamstring.
Anything is possible.
I have a suggestion, guys.
Yes.
I have one. I kind of agree a little bit with Greek. I would say short the offensive line and get you another running back to team up with Rashad White.
Possible.
I would say maybe Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny is a free agent, and he's from Seattle, and he knows the system.
That's being talked about because he's not gonna make that much money. He's an injury risk. He doesn't have to be the number 1 guy. He could also go out there and draft some people. I mean, a lot of people say Bijan Robinson out of Texas with the first pick. No, you can get one in the second,
I don't
third.
See that. That's insane. I just don't
listen.
See it.
This kid White, he's got no mileage on the tires.
That's what I'm saying.
They're gonna run this kid ragged, and he is gonna have a monster season. I'm gonna give everybody the prediction again. The Buccaneers win a minimum of 10 games this year if they keep their offense intact and they address the offensive line. The second thing is they are going to have a top what running game? Did I say, Peter? Let's see if you were ever paying attention. Go ahead. Say it. Truth will set you free. Top what?
Top 5 running game, yes.
No, I didn't say that. I said top 6.
Top 6, okay.
I said a top 6 running game in all of football.
Running game.
From a team that's been 32nd and 31st respectfully the last 2 years.
They better have a top 5 running game because I'm going to run you down if they don't. I'm so sick of hearing about this team not having a running game. What about defensive line? What would you do there?
We need somebody with Vita Vea. We need definitely another run stopper because, you have Golson's a pending free agent. You have Anthony Nelson's a pending free agent. You have a lot of guys that
I heard that Akeem Hicks is going to give the team a team discount this year.
Really?
Yep.
If he gives the Bucs a team discount, I'd sign him, but I still think you need to sign Nacho. There's not a defensive
Nacho, absolutely.
Yeah, there's not a defensive tackle in this draft. It's not a deep one with defensive tackle. As far as edge rushers, I definitely think you need to address that with.
You'll find an edge rusher so deep. You'll find them all the way to the 3rd round. You'll find them on day 2.
This is the year where the Bucs would trade down. And this would make sense for me to trade 19 all the way down to 30, 31, 32, somewhere like that, especially if there's a quarterback on the board that a quarterback needy team needs. And you can get a 1st-round pick next year or a pick next year.
Oh, like Richardson?
Well, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to bet you a steak dinner, double or nothing, that Richardson is going top 5.
You're going to have to quadruple it with all these damn steaks you've lost.
I say top 10. Somebody's going to bite the bullet. Top 10.
I would say top 5. I'm so confident
if that happens,
trading up.
Listen, if this guy Anthony, let me finish this statement.
Yeah, you finish.
If Anthony Richardson jumps in the top 10, you will see something that no team in the history since the draft has never moved more than once in the top 5. You will see it this year, twice minimum, even a 3rd time.
Book it.
Chicago trades with Houston from 1 to 2, and they get a plethora of picks. Chicago then trades with Indianapolis to 4. They get DeForest Buckner and another plethora of picks. And then hopefully Carolina did something stupid, or the Raiders, they want to jump, or Seattle jumps, which they're not going to because they just recently signed Geno Smith to a huge contract.
Well, I mean, he deserved it. But again, that's the quarterback part.
Anyway, what I'm saying is you're going to see the Bears move a minimum twice. I would absolutely love it if they move 3 times, and it will happen if Richardson jumps in the top 10.
He is going to jump in the top 10, and you're going to owe me a steak dinner. I like my steak well done. Go ahead.
I understand that because you're just not human. Well done.
Well done. What's wrong with well done?
Your brain is friggin' well done.
Your brain is well done. Look at how many times you didn't know what you were talking about tonight, Kevin. What else?
I have to agree too. I was going to say another thing that we need to shore up is definitely cornerback because Sean Murphy-Bunting was not good at all last season, and I was still sitting there watching the playoff game, freezing my butt off in the stadium, like watching him look lost in the sky, and I'm like, why are we playing S&P over Jamel Dean? And now Dean is going to be a free agent, and he's probably going to go for a lot of money somewhere else. So we definitely need to shore up some corners, and we definitely need to let Winfield move back to his natural free safety position.
You're exactly right.
Definitely needed because watching Todd Bowles the way he coaches, and I know he's going to coach the defense, I really wish he let one of his assistants call plays because it's like he needs to be just a team manager and let the guys do their job. Because like in the playoff game against the Rams, they said communication was the problem for them for having that blown coverage. Look at the games that we lost this year. We had a lot of blown coverage games.
Yep, makes sense.
Like Prime makes sense. It definitely makes sense.
It absolutely makes sense, Kevin.
Jason Light,
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just worried that I really hope Arians do help Jason Light out because Light has made some good picks and he made some very questionable picks. And I'm kind of worried the way this draft is that we're saying that it's going to be a quarterback heavy draft. I just hope Light maximize his picks and play smart with what the field is because there's going to be some talent there, and
Great
we
call.
can definitely maybe get 9 to 10 wins if the schedule plays right. But it's a hard schedule because we got a first place schedule because we were a division champion. So it's going to be tough. I already see it now. I can just imagine looking at the Packers and the Bears again, and even up and coming Detroit. I'm just worried that this team is going to definitely struggle a little bit, but I hope they really find their talent and play well. That's what I hope for.
Good call, man. Definitely. I know you're a first-time caller. Welcome. Absolutely. Call back. We give you a second call here. Let me give you the horn.
Love smart people.
Thanks, guys. Have a great evening, guys.
Yep.
KR, you have a great one, man. Thanks for calling in tonight.
Bringing it. I know you got to run here because you're on a pitch count. Go ahead and promote yourself here on The Evolution.
I'm Harry the Greek. It's really simple. You can catch me Mondays and Wednesdays right here live on the Sports Web, and occasionally you can catch me on my 1252 Sports Pod. Just saying. And I always say, keep your bets low and your returns high, and if I pissed you off, I did my job.
All right, there you go, Mr. Harry the Greek. Let me give him his walk-up music.
Hey, faz kata. Yasu.
What you just said. Get out of here. All right, open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go back out to the phone lines. The Tribal Troll using his second call of the night. Mr. Rogers, go ahead.
Harry the Greek and Peter. Okay, real quick. Peter,
Yes.
You keep betting Harry steak dinners. Why don't you ever bet him a Greek dinner?
Because I don't eat Greek food, man. I'm not going to lie to you.
You've never tried Greek food.
I've tried Greek food. What is it with people thinking because I don't eat something, I haven't tried it? You know, this kind of stuff tries to always happen with somebody telling me, well, you don't like it, didn't try it. How do you know I didn't try it? I tried it. I didn't like it. I like steak. Peter. I like steak and potatoes.
No, you don't like steak.
Oh,
you
I
like
love
steak well done. That is a sin
steak.
against humanity.
And I'm about to win a steak dinner when Anthony Richardson is a top 5 selection. Bet it, my friend. Bet me, Buckley.
Peter,
bet me.
I'll bet you your burnt-ass, well-done steak that he's not.
I bet you he is. He's at least a top 5 to top 10 pick. Bet me? Want to bet me?
No, top 5 is what you said.
I'm saying top 10, top 5, top 10. Go ahead, bet me.
No, top 5 is what you said.
No, because Harry thinks he's going to get out of the 10 spot. So, okay, what's the bet? Top 10. I'll give you top 10. Top 10. You taking it? Take it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. You're going to owe me steak there, buddy. Take it.
Is the Greek still with us?
No, he's not.
Oh, damn.
What do you want? All right, what else?
All right, man, this has been a great show, man.
Thank you.
Great conversations, and I'm glad Kevin called in, KR.
Yep.
To get to hear. Great call. Call back, man.
Yep, definitely call back. We got Ron calling in, so I got to run here.
Quit being a little biatch, Troy. You call in like everyone else.
You guys need to kiss and make up. He ain't going to call in. Roger, I appreciate the call. Let me give it to
the show. Have a good night, man.
Appreciate you. Let me go back out to Ron here because I know he just tried the call. Let's go out to him. We'll go out to the phone lines. Of course, we got Turnbuckle Talk coming up here in about 5 minutes as we'll talk to the guys about what's going on wrestling-wise, national perspective-wise, and I'm going to get more into this. What's going on, Mr. Ron the Marine here? Welcome to the Evolution. What do you have to say about the Bucs quarterback situation, what we've been talking about tonight? I say go after Lamar Jackson. What do you say?
Man, I say that I'm sure I would like that, and many of us Buck fans would. But the first thing that comes to mind, of course, is the cap and the money situation. And yeah, man, I mean that would be an extraordinary, signing. I don't see it happening, really, Pete. But man, that it definitely would be great. So I was listening to you guys.
Yes.
And,
did you like us tonight?
Just
Were we good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good.
So. I don't know. Harry seems to be. I don't know why he's stuck on this 10 game and Trask and running game. I mean, there's variables before that can even happen. So none of us can really say it. Just like you guys agreed, we don't know how Trask is going to look under center.
Mm-hmm.
So in theory, we can say he learned under Tom Brady, but he never took a snap. And how many snaps did he really take as an NFL? Starting in a game, it's almost like
Trask started through 9 passes. He is a rookie. He's a rookie quarterback. I mean, it's time to face the facts. They get it. He's been in the league for 3 years. He's a rookie quarterback. You're going with the rookie quarterback, and I get it. Once again, you want to go with him. He's a second-round pick. You want to find out. He's been under Tom Brady. Blah 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 blah. I get all that, but this is my point, and this has always been my point of contention, and it's nothing against Kyle Trask, Trask Force, all the fans out there, all the Florida Gator fans. Love you, even though I'm a Florida State fan, and we got your ass last year. Just saying, I have my doubts, because if he was that good, the Bucs would have promoted him over a Blaine Gabbert, or they would have given him some starting time, and they haven't done that. So I have my doubts. So if there is a guy out there, which, again, they don't grow on trees like Lamar Jackson, I'm trying to give away those 2 first-round picks and figure out some way I can give that money away. Again, it's not my money, but I know you can make it happen if you want to make it happen. That's been my point of contention.
Yeah, and so, and that's, very well said. And the line situation is definitely, I mean, nobody's running the ball to the level that Harry said it. He did mention before, like I noticed he kind of, before he closed, he thought to say, hey, they build the offensive line. Well, yeah, I mean, because right now though, I don't think we're running the ball with, White to the effective level that he was saying. I mean, now if the line is intact, and of course, got to understand we're going to have another mixture again. Donovan Smith's gone. So there's too many unknowns.
Were you happy with that move? Were you happy with Donovan Smith being gone?
Not, I mean, I was to a certain extent, but if they based it, Pete, on just last year, his performance, then no, I don't think it's right. I don't really think it's too fair. But
what have you done for me lately, Ron? I mean, you said he's one of the most penalized tackles in the league. You got to move on, my friend. You got to cut bait. It's $10 million to the cap that helps you out. So, and if you move Tristan Wirfs, okay, go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm just concerned that, so now there's another element, like whether or not the move was the best thing that could be done. Because you can argue that, yeah, sure it is. I mean, maybe not much of an argument, but we're going to have to. The offensive line is really key, and like I said, without that, nobody's running the football. So if you can't run the football, I mean, and I'm just not feeling the Trask thing anyway. But that, that's kind of a blind assumption because he hasn't been in.
Right.
So you can say give him a chance, right? You got to give him a chance.
Right.
But I still think this team has too many issues. I mean, I'm not sold on the defensive. We have no more superstars left on the defensive line. So, I mean, I just don't. I mean, the edge rushing, you have to be able to get to the quarterback consistently. We're missing about 6-7 guys that we had on the Super Bowl defense. So, I don't know, Pete, man. Too many variables, too many unknowns.
Got it. I understand it. I mean, and there's going to be change on this team because they were an 8-win team. They won the division. They made the playoffs. But, again, they're in salary cap hell. They have to figure out how many players they're going to miss. And as I talked about, Bucs fans don't lose sleep over the fact that you're going to lose some of these players because they should be gone in the first place. Donovan Smith should no longer be a part of this team. Leonard Fournette should no longer be a part of this team because you drafted Rashard White and you have Keyshawn Vaughn waiting in the wings. It's not a bad thing. It's okay to change a little bit sometimes and change it up. Maybe it'll help this team going forward. Maybe it won't.
Well, I think that there's some chemistry issues as well. And I mean, let's start. I know you may not agree with me. I don't know. I mean, hey, callers, make sure you call in here and jump back off this feedback off this. Because the web is it's the best show in the nation. So
thank you.
Hey, listen up. So I want to get your feedback.
Sure. Go for it.
So and everyone's feedback, but so I'm going to start with the defense. I don't really know, Pete. Murphy Bunting's name was brought up.
I think they bring him back on a cheap deal because if you're going to miss out on Dean, and there's certainly a possibility you're not going to be able to pay him, you're not going to franchise him. It's $18 million. He's most likely going to command a big time market. He's the 5th rated free agent out there and a lot of free agent list. He's 26. He's got length. He's shown potential. There's going to be a team that's going to pay him top dollar. The Bucs can afford it. As far as Sean Murphy Bunting, we know the story about him. We know the good and we know the bad. We know that he's inconsistent, and that's the reason why more than likely he could come back to the Bucs on a cheap deal because he is so inconsistent. So if that's what you're asking, I think that's more of a probability than them re-signing Jamel Dean. Jamel Dean's done.
Yeah, I mean, and there's nobody standing out to me right now. It's going to be forced to be reckoning with.
Right. Well, it's early. Right. Well, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that because you have Vea, right, and you have Shaq coming off an injury. I understand that. I absolutely understand where you're coming from. And you also have JTS who hasn't been able to develop. And that's the reason why the biggest need on this team, and let me get your thoughts on this. At 19, what is the biggest need? You are the general manager, Marine. Who are you selecting at number 19 this year in April? Go.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, the defensive tackle would be come to mind, but there's really none in the situationally, available. I mean, it could possibly available. So you explore some options to free agency. But off the top of my head, I couldn't really tell you. I mean, I'd have to really research a little bit more on who's available, who's a free agent elsewhere, who could come here. But
Fair point.
I'd say you got to build up the O line. I mean, because you win in the trenches. But you know, Pete, if I was the GM, I would really start really having second thoughts on just beside building my team. I would not be easy with the coaching staff, or I shouldn't say the staff.
I know what you feel about Todd Bowles.
That,
I get it. He's under the fire. He's under the hot seat. He's on the hot seat. Yes. I just don't think he commands a locker room. And I'm really trying to be fair with him because I do like him as a defensive coordinator. I think he's a mastermind. He played in the league, but I believe that is the furthest level that it belongs in, Pete. I don't know that he commands a locker room. I don't know that he adjusts on the fly. He shows he can't do that. He has not had any success really much as a head coach because he's such a good defensive guy. But I just don't. I think that's an issue right there. And so until that's addressed, he's going to have to really come in and prove that. Well, this offensive. Let me just put it out there. He's going to be the coach going forward. Okay, there's no coaching change coming anytime soon. So if that's out of the way, who do you take at 19? You take an offensive tackle or you take a defensive end?
Yes.
Okay. So offensive tackle for you.
I take a tackle. Okay. I'll take an offensive tackle and try to explore picking somebody up.
Okay.
You know, I'm not a Hicks next to Vea. I mean, I don't know about that either because Hicks did make some starts last year and he wasn't as injured as I thought, but he was injured for a while and he just seems slow to me too. I mean, he was nothing like the line that we had prior. I don't know if he's the wrecking ball necessity next to him. Golston is a good player, but he's not gonna wreck a game.
Right.
It's so hard, man, because this poses so many things from a salary cap standpoint. They'll get it figured out. Unique.
Have faith, my friend. Sit back, relax. We got you covered here on the Sports Web.
Yeah, man, definitely, Pete. So. But I hope for the best. I hope for the best. I'm concerned with the quarterback spot, the offensive line, and standout production on the defense. So we'll see what happens.
That's a lot. I get it. Lots of concerns and lots of questions coming in. Yep. Good stuff, Ron. Let me go ahead and give you the Ric Flair. Woo! Appreciate you. Use that second call, Marine. All right. Hoorah,
Devil. Thank you.
Hoorah, Devil Dog.
Hoorah.
All right, there we go. Open to Marines. Open to sports fans. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Do it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The new number in case you can't get in. 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Want to read these comments? I'll get out to the guys for Turnbuckle Talk. Saw some wrestling fans in here, so hang out. We will definitely talk some wrestling. We'll take some phone calls if you want to. As always, everything is always open here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Let's go out to Roger Shue. Saints own the division for the next 5 years. Nonsense.
This guy sucks.
Jameis coming home. Nonsense again.
This guy sucks.
Roger, you're smoking, bro. Good comment there by KR.
Oh, yeah.
Hell no on Winston. Agree. Christopher Cole, any news on restructures? Nothing as of yet, but I think you'll start hearing some of that stuff in the next week or two. Probably next couple of days because free agency starts next week. KR, laugh out loud, just trolling, bro. KR again. Good, Roger. I was like, sir, I don't want the headache again. Roger says he's better than Trask. I don't know. Hell no. Dave says, me and Harry are on the same mind on Mills. The guy was flashing on a dumpster fire team. Houston is going to screw up with this guy and draft a quarterback when they have a quarterback. Don't even know it.
Oh, yeah.
Drew says, laugh out loud. LJ isn't getting low 20s or 30s. If Daniel Jones can get 40 per year with his production, 15 touchdowns throwing the ball. Now, somebody will remind me that the total was 22. Okay, $40 million for Daniel Jones for 1 year. Lamar Jackson should get more. Great comment. Roger says, I agree with the Greek. Nobody's worth that money. Anybody is worth the money that somebody is going to pay you. You're a salesperson. I get paid something. You think you're better than me, or you think you're as good as me, you're going to get paid that market value or more. It's called inflation, my friend. It's called economics. I know, I passed it in school, among other subjects that I didn't pass, which is math. But I know about economics and inflation. You paid Dak, you paid Patrick Mahomes, you're going to pay guys more money. It just happens that way. That's just the way it is. That's why you have restructures. That's why you have different avenues to give people or players money. Dave says that TB can't find a quarterback in the next 3 years. It's time to build an old school Tampa team, defense and ball control. Old school football. I think that's what they're trying to do now. Good comment.
Oh, yeah.
Roger Shu says President Trump, bay. Okay. We don't talk politics, but I know what you're saying. They should be a quarterback salary cap separate from the team cap. Yeah, that would be nice. Ain't going to happen, Dave. F. Rogers in Green Bay and Cheesehead fans. Bump. Green Bay sucks. Sorry. Leo is sounding great. So glad you're doing well. Absolutely, Dave, he is. He's a fighter. Ralph says we will see what the Bears can do with Matt Eberflus. I think that's his name. Bears get better just by drafting anyone. To be honest, they're going to be able to parlay those picks from 1 to 2. I hope they trade down to 2. I hope there's so many quarterbacks. And that's what I understand. My co-host arguing with me on Anthony Richardson. You want Anthony Richardson to be on that wall. You need Anthony Richardson to be on that wall. You need him to be in the top 10 or the top 5 so other teams can get desperate and trade up for it. You're going to lose that steak dinner, Harry the Greek. I promise you. I'll be eating steak and potato. I guarantee you at Outback or somewhere else. Ruth Chris. We're definitely going to go all out. Green Bay is done with Rodgers. I agree. Dave says Peter Jackson would be awesome as TB, but I don't see it happening. Peter is turning red. Peter always turns red. Uncle D, it's a family affair. And then I'll get out to the guys. Guys, please be patient. No time effect on this. I appreciate what you're saying, Peter H. Blake, because I'm so right about bringing in very smart, very sharp quarterback and Jackson, because I too believe that Jackson is a much better quarterback than that egomaniac Watson, especially character-wise. I hope that Leo Haggerty gets well soon. I think you're so right about the Buccaneers management, and the Glazers do all they can to get Jackson to the team, leader and manager. Good job, Peter Blake. Thanks so much. That's a family affair. Thank you very much, Uncle D. It runs in the family, obviously. Although there are family members out there saying right now, probably tapping their phone saying, what the hell are you talking about, Pete? Namely, most likely my future agent, my mom, is saying, give Kyle Trask a chance. Give Peace a chance. Give Kyle Trask a chance. That has been the motto here in 2023 for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Harry is spinning facts. Dave, we need Harry the Greek. Cribs episode, Baller Kitchen. Drew, I love when people say Lamar will get hurt right away. Do people not realize that TB has offensive weapons to the point of where you don't need to rely on just his legs? I also think the new OC could scheme perfectly around him. Tell him what he's won, Johnny. Macho Man.
Oh, yeah.
Great job, Drew. Dave, love the show. Bringing the passion. Always bring the passion, please. If we don't bring the passion and the excitement on the show, then let's not do it at all. You want to watch Matlock or Murder, She Wrote, go to the other station there and let them talk about Cap all day long. You want excitement, you want passion, you want no nonsense. You can call me if you want to throw out nonsense. This is the place to be on the sports web. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you as always.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Roger. Pete, why don't you bet Harry the Greek food instead of steak? As I said, I don't like Greek food. Harry is wrong on this one. Richardson goes top 5. Too many teams have fallen in love with the underwear workout. Let the truth set you free.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Jeff Stassi says everyone in Chicago is saying Richardson is top 3. Could they all be wrong? Of course they're not, Jeff.
Victory.
Dave says, but first 4 picks will be defense. I don't know about that. I mean, or for the Bucs, possibly. For everybody else, quarterback. BA is still in the building. Why don't the Bucs tap that asset and have him working with Trask? Hopefully they do.
Oh, yeah.
Drew says because they're leaning on the new offensive coordinator to do that. Good comment. James, well done, Steak. Come on, man. What are you, 65? I feel like I'm 65 sometimes. Some people say I look 65, but damn it, I like my steak. Well done, James. Thanks a lot for tuning in.
Yeah.
Dave says, Peter, you don't like heroes? They are delicious. I've had them. I don't like them. They're okay, but I'm not betting on it. If I'm betting, I'm going full bore here, if you will. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much, KR. Man, I want to talk some wrestling. We will. Roger says, good night, Pete. Good night to you. It's past your bedtime. There you go. Dave says, Drew, Tom Moore is still there, so why not put the quarterback whisperer to work? Good point. Drew says, Dave, because they hired the young gun to run the offense, and I'm sure Tom Moore will assist as well with Arians involved. Dave says Peter Trask wasn't getting any game when Brady was here, plus Blaine was Brady's buddy. Brady has always been cold to rookie quarterbacks, and yet people will sit there and tell me the point, Dave, that he sat behind Tom Brady 2 years, and he's going to be better off for it. And you just put it out there. Brady is cold to rookie quarterbacks. So is there a possibility he maybe didn't learn as much under Brady? Absolutely. Is there a possibility that Brady told the Bucs before he left that Trask wasn't the guy? Absolutely. But Jason Light drafted him second round. They're going to give him a chance. I get it. I understand it. Dave says, Drew, there you go. Put BA to use. Cole, no Lamar. He is not as good as you think, Peter. Start Trask. Get a top pick next year. Draft to the strength of the draft. DB or trade down. Thanks for the memories. Donovan, that move equals addition by subtraction. Great show tonight. Thank you, Cole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you see, that's my problem with this whole move, right? I mean, everybody wants to go with Kyle Trask, a guy that's thrown 9 passes, instead of go with somebody who's done it, who's 26 years old, and a Lamar Jackson. I get it. He's going to cost you a lot of money, but he's worth the money. And again, if you want to be good, you got to pay to be good. Can the Bucs work it out? I think they could. Maybe they won't. And this whole assumption that, yeah, you're going to suck and you're going to get a first-round quarterback like a Caleb Williams and he's going to come in right away and bring, the wins to you, it hasn't happened in the history of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I rather get a certainty and a Lamar Jackson who has been an MVP just a couple years ago, who has won a playoff game, who is mobile and dynamic. And what could he do with a Mike Evans or a Chris Godwin? You never know if you don't make the deal. Just saying. Dave says, I want Peter Blake, Bucs first-round pick in the draft position prediction. Dave, I can't give you that right now, but if I were a betting man, I would say they go with an edge rusher because of Todd Bowles and possibly a safety. We'll give you that prediction eventually. James says, there's no point in going for Lamar. You drafted a guy in the second round, so you have to see what you got now. If it doesn't work out, then draft for next year. Has a couple quarterbacks that are solid and have some upside. Pass rush is needed. James again. Tank this year. Go after Mike Tomlin next year. Tomlin forever. Bucs coach too. Wow, I didn't think about that. Tomlin. I know Ralph Williams would love that. Good stuff there. James. Oh, oorah. Absolutely oorah.
Oh, yeah.
Not a Marine, but almost a Marine. Couldn't qualify with an M16. You know the story. If you don't, there you go. You're privileged to that information. I was nearly a Marine. I didn't make it. So I have nothing but respect for military people out there. Thanks for your service here on the Sports Web. Logan Hall, JTS have been disappointing. JTS especially. Hall will see more this season. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a commercial break as I rest my vocalizer here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television, the Sports Web. Keep it locked.
uwager.lv, Sportsbook, and Casino. Sign up today at uwager.lv, the premier online sportsbook, taking wagers since 1998. The most player-friendly lines, weekly juice specials, and a true dime line in MLB. Unique casino platforms with thousands of games. Play poker, high stakes, low stakes, or tournament play. uwager.lv, what we offer. Free same-day payouts. Customer service and wagering support, 24/7, year-round. Free monthly rebates on your action and daily casino rebates. Contests, free bets, best bonuses, and giveaways. Generous referral program. Get an 80% free play bonus on your first deposit, up to $1,000. Sign up today and use promo code SPORTSWEB. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.
You can't win if you don't play. uwager.lv, promo code SPORTSWEB. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Let's get out to the guys here. Former XPW announcer, Mancini Media, XM Sirius Radio, Mr. Mark Mancini. Welcome to the Evolution. And, of course, the bodyguard of the Berg, Pittsburgh's forgotten son on location. By the way, I got to go out to you, Ralph, because you've been going through some family drama here. God bless you and your family, my friend. First and foremost, I got to start off with that. How is everything going, bodyguard?
Not too bad. He's in. My nephew is in stable condition now. We're going to be here till next Thursday.
Okay. All right. So my prayers are out to you.
Youngstown, Ohio.
Absolutely. All right, my friends. So let's start it off with some football here. Lamar Jackson. You know, I continue to push this narrative, if you will, that the Bucs should be interested. I get it. People are saying they're in salary cap hell. You have to give up 2 first-round picks. But, Mark, 26-year-old franchise quarterbacks that have won an MVP, a playoff game, that are as dynamic as Jackson, don't grow on trees. So enlighten me here, Madman. Why are the Falcons, Panthers, Commanders, Raiders, and the Dolphins, and possibly the Bucs, not interested in Lamar Jackson?
Well, first and foremost, prayers to Ralph Williams. I know what he's going through. I want to send the prayers to Leo Haggerty. And I like my steak well done, too, to the clown that sent you that message.
Well, there you go. Exactly. I mean, everybody's like,
hey, I like my steak well done as well.
Yeah.
So
things running threes.
What? Right. Well, I mean, why take a chance, gentlemen? I mean, yeah, a little bit of pink, I guess, a little medium is okay, but I don't want to take that chance. I want a little bit, a little bit grizzly. I still think it'll taste good, but I'm able to adjust. I still like it well done. I'm going to get that steak, Harry the Greek, just saying. But Mark, Lamar Jackson.
Well, I know I like the bets. Hey, listen, I got a $50 25-1 that the Dodgers don't make the playoffs. So I aim to clean up in October. I might need a Brinks truck in Vegas to get that money. But
well, disclaimer here, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Mancini is the self-admitted worst handicapper out there. So if you're taking betting advice, be careful.
I could turn the tides. I always try to tell him, and I know I tell him about you, Peter. Peter's running with it. The world's worst. I said from the beginning, Aaron Rodgers will go to New York, and I'm going to still stick with that. But keep on the Lamar Jackson.
I got to read this comment really quick, guys. This is James here. Well done, goodness. You would ask to leave my restaurant. Ha, ha, ha. That's James right there, James Ludeman. Thanks a lot for tuning in, my friend. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, James must like it where you just throw it and then you just serve it. I don't know, but that's not our cup of tea. That doesn't even hit the flame. You just serve it raw, man. Just get it off the truck. Let it cool down and get it off the freezer and just throw it on the plate. But when you look at Lamar Jackson, you know what? The Ravens, I think, are sitting here trying to figure out the franchise tag this guy for a few more years. This guy's 26. Give him the boatload of money. I know he's representing himself, but if you don't believe in yourself, who else is going to believe in you unless you surround yourself with good people like you guys?
Well,
but
here's
the thing. They gave the idiot in Cleveland a guaranteed contract after he had problems with 78 women. So what's wrong with this world? Is this guy coinciding with the guy in Memphis, John Morant, that's walking around with a viral gun that's reminding me that I do radio in the city that thinks it's Allen Iverson. So I don't know. I like Lamar Jackson. Pay him the money, or the Ravens are going to look like the Cleveland Browns.
Well, I tell you right now, they're not going to look like the Cleveland Browns because the Browns paid Watson the guaranteed money, and that's the point. They're going to look like they have Tyler Huntley there, who is a Pro Bowler who threw a total of 2 touchdowns, Ralph, the bodyguard of the Berg, to be a Pro Bowler, which doesn't say much, but I mean, Lamar Jackson, I mean, I don't understand why there's so many teams, and all I can think of at the end of the day is that this is collusion by the owners because they don't want to pay the same type of contract that Watson got from the Browns.
Well, not only that, you were talking earlier about Daniel Jones and them getting money, Geno Smith. I mean, Lamar, why not pay Lamar Jackson? I mean, Lamar Jackson's been in the league, a few years. He's through his rookie contract. Why not give him the money he needs or he wants or whatever? If the Ravens do get rid of Lamar Jackson, and I like your idea of the Bucs taking him, take a gamble on him, the Bucs got to do something because they need help on both lines of scrimmage. They got a young offensive coordinator, and I can't believe that's Tom Moore still coaching in this league. I remember when he coached the Steelers and Bubby Brister. My gosh. Jeez.
Well, I remember Bubby Brister and the Pittsburgh Steelers coming down on one cold day at Tampa Stadium, the old Tampa Stadium, I believe it was 1989 or 1990 with Louis Lips and killing the Bucs. It was one of the coldest days in Tampa Bay history. In fact, it snowed on that day.
Yeah.
A chance to see it, but neither here nor there. He's been around a long time. With that being said, gentlemen, let's talk about what's going on in the wrestling world right now. Of course, WrestleMania just a couple of weeks away from LA, and then AEW just had Revolution. Let's start out there. Let's start out with John Cena appearing against Austin Theory. Lots of talk there between those two. As we talked about here months ago, it was setting up to be that. Austin Theory versus John Cena. This is the right way, right, Mark?
Well, I'll tell you, I just got done covering a UCLA-Arizona game and hung out with a UCLA cheerleader and got a lot of flack. Hopefully, I won't get myself in trouble at WrestleMania.
Yeah, don't do that, man, because it is International Women's Day out there. So don't do that. But
Austin Theory and John Cena. Well, you knew this was coming. It's Hollywood, man. It's the bright lights in the big city. You know Cena was coming around. But I just think it's a push maybe to give Theory a little bit of a run, or maybe to squash his personality and, somehow take the belt away from him for a night and then give it to somebody else. But I will tell you this. I am getting really excited with the Bloodline and Zayn.
Yeah, you're still my thunder now.
No.
We're going to get to that in a moment now, man. Don't get off the rails here. Now,
no. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel like a train derailment in Palestine, Ohio.
That stuff worked in XPW when you were an announcer, all that crazy stuff. Here, I got to rein you in a little bit. I love the craziness there, man. We'll talk about the Bloodline in a little bit. Ralph, bodyguard of the bird, Pittsburgh's forgotten son. Austin Theory versus John Cena. How do you book this match? I mean, you got to put Theory over. That's the purpose of having John Cena versus Theory in the first place. You got to make it a good match, but Theory has to go over, right, Ralph?
Yeah, I think that this is the right match, the right opponent in John Cena. I didn't have any respect for Austin Theory. Now I do. He won that Elimination Chamber match only because of
Paul. Yes.
What I'm saying is I started to have some respect for this kid because of some of the matches that he has won, and that I didn't think he was going to win because of his attitude. But it turns out that he's won some matches. This might be the match he falls to Cena. Cena's looking to resurrect himself a little bit, I think, because the reason I say this is a lot of people don't know. He was working for NBC for a little while, and they kind of stuck it to him. And all he's doing is movies, so coming in commercials. So now coming back into wrestling a little bit might help him out, somewhat a little bit. See what happens. Maybe he'll get another title and add to, what is he, 16-time or 15-time champion? You
can't surpass Ric Flair. I'm sorry, you can't surpass it. I can't do that.
But he might. You never know.
I mean, let me ask you that. Is that good for the business for him to surpass Ric Flair, possibly the greatest wrestler of all time? I get it. He's done some things that have been unscrupulous. I mean, that's what the dirtiest player does, but not acceptable off the mat, but still considered the greatest wrestler of all time. Do you put John Cena over Ric Flair, in your opinion?
No, I really don't see that happening. I'd like to see Cena continue on with some things, but I think it's time for it's Austin Theory's time right now. I mean, I really don't like the guy, but I respect him because, again, he's won some key matches. He's won some matches. And, I was impressed with the Elimination Chamber match, which I had said that I didn't like the lineup anyway, except for Seth Rollins. And it came down to him and Seth. And, hey, you win any way you can, like Jesse Ventura would say. If you have to cheat, you win any way you can. And he won. So, he's still the U.S. title holder, and we'll see how far that goes. I think WWE wants to make him the face of Raw. And right now, that's what's going to happen until they split the the championship belts up.
And it's over, McMahon. That's what also Jesse the Body Ventura would also say. It's over, McMahon. And you look at Austin Theory, and he's kind of like the splitting image of John Cena. When John Cena came out, he was a heel. He was a hot shot. He had to earn his respect. It was a rapper gimmick. It worked. Doctor of Thugonomics. How would you book this match, Mark? You got to put Theory over Cena, or do you put Cena over Theory in a good match? How would you book it?
Well, that's the game plan, is to put Theory over, over him, so he can retain the belt and everything. But I don't know. With WWE, the gimmicks, and you talk of Ric Flair being the best. We can always agree to disagree on some of these thoughts, because Bruno Sammartino, I think Freddie Blassie,
very good.
Them guys, and let's face it, who's had a longer reign? We're going on almost 3 years holding the belt than Roman Reigns.
You definitely throw Hogan in there, of course.
Yeah.
Hogan's always going to be talked about, in my opinion. I think some people would say Bret Hart. It's very subjective. I think Triple H is in that conversation. Yeah. I think Shawn Michaels is in that conversation, of course.
Well, and I know with Theory, Theory's good, but if you told put a gun in my head and said, who would I take, Theory or Rick Rude? I'm taking Ravishing Rick Rude any day of the week. Of
course you would, but the device of that, the reason why you put him in that match versus a John Cena is because you want to.
Yeah, you want to find out where. Yeah.
Right, you want to put him over
to build the championship up.
Yes. Exactly. All right, let's go out to Undertaker too. I believe that you go defense, sprinkling some offense. All right, Chris Cole. James says 16 time, baby.
Woo!
Absolutely right there. And let's go out to James again. Undertaker is absolutely top 3. We forgot about the Undertaker. Undertaker has done so much for the business. It is ridiculous. With that being said, let's move on to that big time match. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. Do you like the buildup of it? Because first you have Paul Heyman saying that Roman was the son that Dusty always wanted. Do you like how it's being made personal? And then you have Roman and Cody going after each other. Do you like how this buildup is going? And do you feel like, once again, the best move to make is for Cody to go over, win the title, and for Roman to go away for a little bit, Mark?
I don't know. The only thing I didn't like about that segment the other day was if Roman stays on that mic a little too long, you got to kind of, you got to help him out there a little when the shaking of the hands and the whole thing.
I'll tell you what, hold that thought. We got some phone calls here tonight on Turn Up the Talk. Let's go out to James Splash Ludeman. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with the madman himself, former XPW announcer Mark Mancini, and of course the Pittsburgh's forgotten son Ralph Williams. Go, my friend.
Well done, guys.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done tonight. No pun intended to steak, but well done.
That's okay. That's all right. We like well done, but that's okay. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I would argue, and this is just from my many years of watching this, sports entertainment ball game.
Sure.
I've been a fan since the Monday Night War days. You'd flip back and forth, and it was amazing. I still argue there will never be a greater time in wrestling than those days, and nothing will ever. AEW is great, and I love Revolution. MJF is carrying that company easily right now. But I'm gonna tell you this: I have never, in at least I would say probably the last 10 years, there has not been a storyline that has carried a company like Sami Zayn and the Bloodline.
I agree.
It has been fun. It has been emotional. I'll tell you, when Jay super kicked Sammy, you heard that pop in Boston.
Oof.
That was amazing. I listened to that crowd pop after that turn, and I'm telling you, that is what AEW lacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It lacks the long-term storytelling. We all knew this match was coming. We knew that it was going to be KO and Sami Zayn. It's still not official, but it will be. And we know it's coming. Anybody who watches wrestling knows what's coming. But for them to swerve us Monday night the way that it did, it just for a second, it brought me back to stuff that happened in the Attitude Era in the early 2000s. I mean, it's stuff that makes you invested. And I think that for so long, WWE, they've had some good matches. I mean, Rock Cena, you can talk about that once in a lifetime, which actually was twice in a lifetime.
Twice in a lifetime, yes. Which they ruined it
right.
by. They ruined it. You should have just had once in a lifetime, The Rock over Cena. But no, you got to make everybody happy, and you got to have Cena win one. And no, it should have been once in a lifetime.
And I'll tell you, there's been some other good ones. I mean, the Authorities.
Austin McMahon.
Yeah.
I thought Austin McMahon was the one.
Yeah.
Right. Austin McMahon was really good. But I'm telling you, when I've watched this over these past few months, like, first of all, I didn't see Sami Zayn turning at the Rumble. That I thought was going to happen later on. But then you realize the whole reason it happened is so he could fight Roman in Montreal, which makes sense from a business standpoint.
Sure.
But to me, this bloodline story and this culmination, even with Cody Rhodes being added into the mix because of the WrestleMania spot, I think this is fantastic what they have done with Roman. I've said it for years that Roman should have been doing this probably 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something where it should have been this way from the beginning.
Agree.
And it wasn't, but they made it right. So that definitely works. But man, I'm telling you, WrestleMania is turning into a fantastic card. They're going to add this Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, tag team match against the Usos, which I think is going to be even more great storytelling from both sides. And, it's going to be interesting to see what WWE does once this concludes, because once you get to WrestleMania, you got to assume, and again, WWE could swerve it. Sure. They could put Roman over Cody and just completely throw a wrench into this because of how hot Roman is right now.
Does that make sense to you? I mean, could you see that? Would you be happy with that? Because you talked about the storyline, James. You talked about the buildup. Would you be happy with Cody losing? Because to me, I think it would lose the effect. The storyline is there with Cody. He's the American Nightmare. He's from the great family of Dusty Rhodes, which, by the way, we didn't throw him out there as one of the greatest. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, could not only cut a promo, but he could wrestle. My mom's watching right now. She knows what I'm talking about. She just my first wrestling matches in St. Pete, where it was the Nature Boy Ric Flair versus Dusty Rhodes. He absolutely has to be put in that conversation. But the storyline is Dusty was never, ever able to win a title in WWE. His son is able to do it. Does it defeat the purpose here, James, if you don't do that and put him over on Roman?
My heart says you're absolutely right. But the way that I'm thinking about this from business is you take a situation where probably all of the arena believes that Cody is going to win this match, and I think he will. I really don't think they would. But as Paul Heyman has said several times, what if? What if Roman comes out and it maybe doesn't dominate, but what if Roman finds a way to win? I mean, you're talking, you brought this up earlier, Mancini, about almost 3 years now. You've had a title on this guy, and he's looked amazing in every single title defense that he's had. He's fantastic. Roman easily could win this match at WrestleMania and not wrestle again until SummerSlam. And I don't know if you would do that. I think from a business standpoint, it would be interesting to see it done that way. But if Cody loses this match, you could, in theory, always give him the Money in the Bank contract.
Well, I'll tell you right now, if you do that, I'll give you the name that you unseed Roman and you put him off into Hollywood. His cousin, The Rock. That's the match you made. If you're gonna go in that route, in that direction, which is certainly a possibility, and you don't have Cody take it away from him, what about The Rock unseating the tribal chief at WrestleMania next year? I could definitely see that. What do you say?
I don't like that.
Okay.
I don't like that any more than I was doing it.
Okay.
I don't like it any more than you like seeing it. Now, again, let me be clear. I genuinely think that Cody is going to win. Okay. I think you're right about the storyline with Dusty. I think it's a full circle moment. It's something where Dusty never officially won a title. He had it, but it didn't have it. Obviously his brother was Goldust, and so he never had an opportunity. So you've got a guy who's hot right now in Cody Rhodes. I'm just playing the what if scenario. If for some reason WWE thought that Roman could win this match, which he could, and it would make business sense. I mean, you're trying to build Roman into this Bruno Sammartino type of person. He's not the same person,
right?
But you're trying to build that legacy, and he has already passed legends. I mean, I think he's either second or third all time in longest title reign with these belts. So again, I think Cody does go over. So let's not take anything away from him. But boy, it would be something to see if Roman were to somehow go over in this match. It really would.
All right, good stuff, James. Anything else here on the Evolution?
Well, thanks for calling, James.
Yeah, of course. Listen, I love talking wrestling, and you guys are awesome. And lastly, I'll leave you with this because this happened tonight. I don't know if you guys saw it on AEW, but MJF beat Daniel Bryan, which I thought was one of the best Iron Man matches I've ever seen.
Yes.
And Daniel Bryan came on tonight and did a video package talking about how he couldn't feel in his left arm, and he said he was going home. Well, the idea to me, and this is just me opinion, is that he's actually going to be going back to Ring of Honor to wrestle, which I think would be huge for that company to get Bryan Danielson back there. But good show as always. I'll hang up and watch.
Let me ask you this really quick. If you go away from Bryan Danielson, you put him in Ring of Honor, do you think that opens up the possibility, and I keep on throwing this out because we haven't heard from him in months and there's a lot of heat already. Do you think there's a possibility of bringing back CM Punk eventually?
Man, this is tough because to me, you saw the Bucs and Kenny Omega come back, and I think that's clearly a lot of that has to do with, well, they started the company. So, I mean, I think you have a lot of loyalty in that. Little spoiler pick. I don't think Kenny Omega's there very much longer.
I don't either.
I'll tell you that. I think he's
contract up. He's going to WWE.
Yep.
I think he's going to WWE. It's the only place he hasn't been. What a and he would be a huge star in WWE. I really believe that. Triple H running the show.
Jay White too.
Put over the right way.
Yeah, you got Jay White, Switchblade, Jay White, and of course Kenny Omega, which is
Kenny Omega.
And James, you're exactly right. Use that second phone call, my friend, and that's the pinnacle. WWE, say whatever you want to. AEW is a startup. It's all well and good, but that's where you want to end up eventually, and I think Omega will end up there. Good stuff, man. Let me go ahead and give you the Ric Flair.
Woo!
Appreciate it, James. Use that second call if you want to, my friend. Keep on watching, all right?
Will do, buddy. Thanks, guys.
All right, good stuff there.
He's great, man. He laid it down, but just to piggyback on that, I've never been a big Cody Rhodes guy, and I like to be honest and let it out there, and people might not agree with it, but be a little opinionated, controversial, and brash on it. But I've never been I look at somebody, if you're gonna put a belt around somebody and let him walk around town, because I don't think Cody Rhodes has the same popularity as a Seth Rollins does.
Gotcha.
And that's where I think it'll lose it. I like to keep this thing going, and you brought up an interesting point. If you're not going to bring The Rock out now, bring him out in the next WrestleMania, drag it out, and let him try to put the crunches to Roman Reigns then. But keep building this up. Hell, it hasn't gone stagnant for 3 years. Keep it going. Don't break it up. But Seth Rollins would be a good one to go against. I would love to see that one.
Well, I think Seth Rollins eventually will go against Cody when Cody has the belt, and that's going to be the feud they're going to set up because it's already been set up because Seth, of course, is the one that hurt Cody in the first place. Want to go out to this comment. Christopher Cole says, Dusty asked my mom out back in the day. Give him the horns. That's cool. Good stuff there. All right, Ralph, your thoughts on that whole situation with Cody and Seth and Roman? I mean, what should they do in your opinion?
Well, I think if you take a look at Roman Reigns these days, and the way I see it is that seriously, I mean, he's looking worn out. I mean, I think it's wearing him down, even though he's a part-time wrestler. I mean, he doesn't wrestle all the time on SmackDown and Raw or whatever, just once in a blue moon. But even though he's a part-time wrestler, they scaled his schedule back and created this heel thing because of his health. So now he wants to retire so he can go into movies with The Rock. And then I think he's going to still stay on the roster as a part-time wrestler and show up like Brock Lesnar does and like Goldberg used to do and Cena and all these other guys, because I don't see him. His durability isn't there anymore with the schedule of wrestling, with his health. And I know he wants to spend more time with his family. He's already made that clear. So I don't see Roman Reigns winning. I see Cody Rhodes winning. And I think that the WWE wants him to be the new face of the company. And Rollins will go up against him. Some other guys will be going up against him. But I think Cody Rhodes, it's his time to be the face of the company.
All right, let's go back out to the comments here. James says, you notice Cody and Roman haven't had any physical contact at all. Interesting setup without anything physical. And I think it goes back to your point, Ralph, that yes, Roman doesn't. He's a part-time wrestler. He's a champion, and that keeps that mystique, because I don't want to see my champion wrestle every other day, right? Because it's like, you have Goldberg versus Hogan on Monday Night Raw. It's Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Nitro. He gave away a pay-per-view event on the Monday night show, which is ridiculous in itself. The same could be said about Roman. I don't want to see him on SmackDown every day. If you're going to do it, you don't have him wrestle. You don't have him, certainly you have him win, but it keeps the mystique alive. And what James mentioned is absolutely correct. When there is no physical contact, then there's the imagination is still there.
Well, they try to save all these, from the physical contact so that they're healthy for WrestleMania, so they could put on a good match. But if you get an injured Cody Rhodes or something, that's not going to work.
Right, and I think if you have Cody do his finisher on Roman, then where's the fun in that? And if you have Roman do the Superman punch or a spear, where's the fun in that? So you got to save it. So Triple H and the writing there have done a great job in booking this upcoming match here in the next.
Well, I will tell you, and I've added a segment, the Mancini Militia. Where's my Karrion Kross with Scarlett?
Oh, jeez.
You and the Scarlett.
They don't know what to do with the Mark. It's as simple as that. They've had him up twice, and then Triple H hires him back, and they still don't know what to do with him.
They don't know what
they keep going against the Mysterio.
He was just in a battle royal about 2 weeks ago with MLW. He was in a 30-man battle royal.
Let's go out.
Oh my God, those Mysterios.
James says, I remember The Rock and Austin build-ups. They always had physical contacts. I mean, they did. I mean, it was always.
And so did Triple H and The Rock. That was another one.
Yes, but now they're not doing that because
they're trying to save them for WrestleMania.
Something different. All right, Bad Bunny is going to be hosting Backlash in Puerto Rico here coming up. Of course, he made the song for Booker T, which was great. Booker T's not going to wrestle anymore, of course. But how surprised were you of Bad Bunny's wrestling skills? Because I didn't know what to think. And it's a mixed bag with celebrities. I think Logan has showed that he's definitely a wrestler. Bad Bunny has shown he's definitely a wrestler. You have the greats like Lawrence Taylor against Bam Bam Bigelow, not so much good. Mike Tyson, not so much good.
Dennis Rodman.
Actually, Rodman was good. I bought Rodman and Karl Malone. I bought that.
Yeah, Malone too. Carl the Mailman. Yeah,
I like that whole storyline. I think WCW did right.
Mayweather.
Right. Jay Leno, not so much.
No.
With that being said,
how about Gene Okerlund when he wrestled?
Oh God!
When he wrestled with Hulk Hogan.
Let me. Well,
yes.
You know what? When you look at and God rest his soul, Eddie Guerrero. Do you see a little bit of the Judgment Day trying to play that whole heat thing with the?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're absolutely trying to do it.
Yeah, and it doesn't work.
No,
it does not work.
Not a great wrestler. He's not great on the mic.
No.
Oh my God!
It's none of them guys on the Judgment Day are any good wrestlers. And Finn Balor has been around the block 1,000 times. Damian Priest, here and there. Dominic Mysterio, forget about him. Rhea Ripley's gonna go out on her own. That faction's going to go down after WrestleMania.
Let me tell you something, guys. Those three guys should be ashamed cashing checks.
Well, I tell you right now, Rhea Ripley's the one that's going.
Not Rhea Ripley, the other three.
Oh
yeah, that's what I said. Them three guys,
Damian Priest is a good wrestler. Finn Balor, I like Finn Balor. I just don't like the group. The group to me is stupid.
Oh, it's terrible.
and when they went,
you know what? I'm glad that we all three agree on that one because I can't stand the Judgment Day either. I can't deal with them.
When they lost Edge, they lost all credibility.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Definitely.
All right, let's go out to James here. Bad Bunny did a Canadian Destroyer at Mania in Tampa. It was awesome to see. He absolutely did, and he pulled it off. I mean, that was good. I remember Petey Williams back in the TNA days. So I
remember him. Yes,
Canadian Destroyer. That was a badass move for somebody who's never wrestled before. I mean, it's unbelievable for Bad Bunny to take it that seriously. But
my buddy just sent me a text. He said, "Is Dusty Rhodes and Adrian Adonis joined at the hip?"
Hey, remember Tugboat and Earthquake? Oh my!
That duo there. We're on with Turnbuckle Talk here. I'm your host, Blake, along with the Madman himself, Mark Mancini, of course. The Pittsburgh's forgotten son, Mr. Rob.
Yeah, I'm in Youngstown tonight, though. So.
Youngstown tonight. All right, let's go back out to the comments here. Or Panama Sunrise, as Adam Cole calls it. Another one. That's good. All right, let's go out to AEW here. What did you guys think of Revolution, that pay-per-view? Because you had the House of Black beat the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega for the trios titles, okay? We had Hangman Page beat John Moxley in a brutal where guys are stabbing each other with forks. Mark, you know all about this.
Yeah. I worked with Abdullah the Butcher.
Oh, you seen that guy's forehead? I mean,
that's my man. I like Abdullah the Butcher.
Forehead is just like, I mean, that's what you do, kids. And people say, "Oh, it's fake." No, they take a little and they cut it open. It's called juicing, and they hit somebody, and that's where you bleed. That's where you get it from. And that's a Texas death match between Moxley and Adam Page. And then, of course, you had MJF beat Danielson in an Iron Man match. Give me your overall thoughts of Revolution, Mark.
I think it was good. I mean, the Monty match was, like you called it. You set it up. It was perfect. I mean, it was a rock'em sock'em. It kind of reminded me of them. Remember them old toys in the days? You put them in the ring and they just knock till the other guy's head would go up. Mm-hmm. But Moxie, I like Moxie a lot. You know, I was disappointed because I like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and they lost. But, you know, other than that, I think it's, you know, AEW, you're right. They're not on WWE's level, but, you know, they're kind of like, if you want to compare AEW to WWE, you get more for your buck with AEW because it's like the minor leagues.
It's like WCW. It's like WCW with all the gimmicks and everything else. It's interesting in itself. Ralph, what were your thoughts on AEW Revolution?
I was kind of surprised that Danielson lost, but I know that Tony Khan's trying to carry his company with MJF all the way till the end of the year. His contract runs out next January, and he already said he's leaving. So, you know, he might as well soak it up while he can. I was surprised the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega losing, but everybody forgets Kenny Omega's contract runs out at the end of this month, and talk is he's going to the WWE with Don Callis.
Wow.
Ricky Starks versus Jericho. I was surprised that match was a loss for Jericho, and the Christian Cage match.
Ricky Starks is a future superstar.
Yeah.
He is a future superstar. He's got it written all over it.
Yeah.
Look, I think a lot of people look at him and they see a young Rock, and I think that
Ricky Starks is a good wrestler. Yes, and then
that's a heavy
boy against Christian Cage,
right?
Because I hear now Christian Cage is coming back to the WWE. There's been some rumors out there that Edge is rounding up the old gang, Christian Cage and Gangrel, to go after the Judgment Day.
Wow.
So
the Brood. The Brood. There you go. Who can forget the Brood? Which is
hey, how about Uncle Howdy?
That's Bo Dallas.
That's gonna be one. I'm really interested in this.
What a waste of character! What a waste of money! Bray Wyatt and this nonsense. It's been going on since October. He's had one match against LA Knight, whoop-de-doo, and now he wants to fight Lashley. Oh my!
I don't understand. I really don't understand the gimmick here or what's being done.
Yeah.
Let me go out to James here. House of Black is as annoying as
for sure.
I think they're more talented than the Judgment Day, but
They are, yes.
And Jericho match went way too long, but I think again the device was Jericho is one of the older statesmen, if you will, and you get Ricky Starks in a great match like that. You put out a match, and once again, it puts over Starks as a legitimate superstar eventually for AEW to build around in case MJF does leave the company here in the next couple of years for WWE. Which
the Moxley match, guys, also surprised me. I thought Moxley was going to win that match. That's his type of match.
Yeah.
And for Hangman Page to win that was kind of surprising.
Let me ask you guys.
Yeah, Mark.
Without jumping the gun on it, but did you guys watch? Boy, what a nice documentary on China.
Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to watch it. I got to watch it. I kind of know the story already. Yeah. It's sad the way it worked out.
Yeah.
How she had a relationship with Triple H and that fell apart.
Sean Waltman too. She had a relationship with him.
Well, if you call that a relationship,
I know, but I mean, there was
a lot of stuff. All right. Speaking of relationships or lack thereof, AEW star Wardlow appears to have lost his championship belt.
Yeah.
It wasn't a wrestler who took it from him in the match. In fact, somebody took it out of his rental car on Tuesday. Now, by the way, they wouldn't do this to his face because if you guys seen Wardlow, he's about 275 pounds. He could be a future star of AEW. He says, well, thanks to the person who broke into my rental car and took absolutely everything from me. My TNT title, my ring gear, my boots, my whole life were in those bags. I don't know if that means I'll have to beat the S out of Hobbs in these clothes I'm wearing right now. But one way or another, I'm going to make it to Sacramento, and we're going to get this done. Whomever did this, better thank God I didn't catch you in the act, as your jaw would be shattered.
It was Samoa Joe.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Is it a storyline or
it might be? It might be Samoa Joe.
That's exactly
because I wouldn't put it past him. Samoa Joe's a crazy guy. I wouldn't put it past him.
It's a damn good storyline. I'll tell you right now. It is damn good.
Yeah, that's about as great as the Alpha Academy.
No. Now, Mark, Otis is going with the male models, and he's called Otis.
Otis,
Otis. All right.
Let me tell you one thing. I think the stupidest match on this whole WrestleMania. You guys might laugh at the Lashley Wyatt, which I wouldn't mind watching. It's going to be the Lesnar Omos. What the hell is that?
Oh man,
that is such a terrible match.
I said that earlier tonight on my Talking Wrestling show podcast. I said that tonight. God. I said Omos is going to get his butt handed to him. Brock Lesnar's a better wrestler than Omos could ever be. Omos is clumsy, and there's no way he's going to take out Brock Lesnar.
It has Vince McMahon written all over it. That's the type of match you make.
You should have put Lesnar against the Great Khali.
Basically, and the Great Khali could probably wrestle better than Omos, honestly. All right,
the Hurt Business is coming back. You got Carmelo Hayes.
They should. They should. The NWO was amazing too. China was really a bad one. Shoosh, is James saying in there. And you need a guest on that Talking Wrestling. So I know a guy, says James. Thank you very much. We'll definitely reach out to you. We always love to get a guest here, maybe a wrestler, maybe an announcer. Who knows here on Turnbuckle Talk on the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with former XPW announcer, Mr. Mark Mancini. And, of course, the bodyguard of the Bird, now in Youngstown, Ohio tonight, Mr. Ralph Williams. Now,
thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Down here for circumstances.
Yes, sir. MJF, that wasn't the big story of him retaining the title. He actually threw a cup of tequila on a child. Now, when he was asked about this, and even Taz said on air that went a little bit too far. Now, I get it. He's a heel, but it's tequila. It burned the kid's eyes out. Of course, they gave him free merch. They let him, meet his favorite wrestler, which is Powerhouse Hobbs. I thought it was a gimmick. Of course, Tony Khan said he wasn't happy with them. When MJF was asked about it, he said the kid looked thirsty. Now, Ric Flair took some exception to MJF during his To Be the Man podcast, and he says, It's cheap heat. You want to do something to get heat and get people excited. That won't hurt anybody. You cut yourself so deep that when you swing your hair, you throw blood all over them. That's what I did all the time when I had long hair. Then they feel like they're a part of the action. They're going to this ain't paint. This is blood. I'm totally against throwing anything at a kid. You never know. It had ice in it and the liability is there. And I'm sure Tony did a cartwheel at the gorilla position. So, guys, what did you think about MJF and that stunt? I mean, was it staged? It doesn't seem like it's staged.
No, it didn't look like it.
No, not at all.
Is it going too far there with MJF? Or once again, you're a part of it. It's a show, but it is tequila thrown in the kids' eyes. So you kind of went over the line there. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, you want to, do that before the start of the show. If usually they'll know who's sitting in the front row and what's going to go down. Obviously, it went too far. He didn't know it, or he took it too far. And if you're going to spin that, you got to be aware of a kid sitting there. If it wasn't laid out, and tequila will burn somebody's eyes, believe me.
Yeah, and I don't drink tequila because the last time I did it killed me. The room wouldn't stop spinning here. Tequila thrown on a kid by MJF. Ralph, how do you see it?
I think that's unacceptable. Number one, I want to tell you a quick story here. Last year, and AEW comes to Pittsburgh every April. They're at the Peterson Event Center at the University of Pittsburgh. MJF was here last year. He went down to the Heinz History Center, and he disrespected the Franco Harris statue. I got something for him because Franco Harris has passed away, as you well know. And if you don't, I'll let you know now. He has passed away, and I thought that he disrespected the statue. I've got him on Twitter a few times, and I said, MJF, you need to apologize to the people of Pittsburgh for desecrating that statue down there at the Heinz History Center. And here's a guy that did a lot for Pittsburgh, Franco Harris, and you're going to do that. That's when I lost respect for him. Now, I have met him, MJF, when I used to do security at the Pete. I was there as a spectator with my wife. We were there. This was when the first time they ever came to Pittsburgh, and he was friends with Cody Rhodes, supposedly. He came up to me, and he said, how are you? How you doing? And I knew Cody Rhodes from ROH when I used to do security for the ROH events in Pittsburgh. I met the Young Bucs, so I pretty much have familiarity with them from ROH. And I met MJF then, and then all of a sudden he's turned into a complete jerk. But you know what? It's just like Roman Reigns. It sells, and Tony Khan needs something to sell AEW. And if MJF is it, hey, that's it.
I definitely think he's it, and I think it's a good point. And this is what Tony Khan had to say at the post-event media scrum, which, by the way, if you catch one of these, it seems like it's a circus.
Every time. Yeah.
He said, we had a conversation before we came up here. We had a serious conversation. I mean that, and it's not to be taken lightly. The young man, Titus, was a real pro about it. We'll see Titus again here in AEW. I believe Titus is actually coming into Sacramento. I was just with him, and he was a real champ about it. The champion didn't act like a champion there, but I think Titus was great. Once again, he was given free merch and met his favorite wrestler, Powerhouse Hobbs. No word on what happened tonight. I guess I'll have to see if this is a work or not. Let me go out to James here. The mom's reaction is why it looked like it was staged. She didn't sell it very well. Laugh out loud. MJF had this to say after he beat Bryan Danielson on the media scrum. Who's the best wrestler in the world? Is it Jon Moxley? Is it Bryan Danielson? I'm just curious. Tell me, Dave. Is it your boy Kenny? Is it John? Yeah, laugh all you want, you dip spit. I'm the effing man now. Me. I'm the best wrestler in the world. There's no more complete wrestler on the planet. Nobody's got my body. Nobody's got my mind. Nobody's got my brain. Inside the ring, on the microphone, hell, pounds the scrum table, even at the GD press conference. Nobody can effing touch me in this business. I don't need a whole group backing me. I don't need someone advising me in my ear what to say, how to walk, how to talk. There is nobody, and I mean nobody on my level, and you're going to hear it over and over again because it ain't nobody dethroning the devil. GD, I got a horn growing out now. pulls back his hair to reveal a mouse on his forehead. Stuff is getting real, isn't it? But I feel good. My back ain't against the wall no more. I got nothing to panic about. I'm having fun now. Tony, you're ready to have some fun, answer some questions. Good stuff. Get some Kalen pickles over here. Got to eat that stuff out there. Wow. This sounds exactly like what CM Punk put out there. And this
Best
is why
in the world.
This is why I think, gentlemen, there is something to this, that they're building it up, that eventually CM Punk is going to come back. Yeah. And as much as CM Punk did, he is going to sell the hell out of those shows. Mark, your thoughts on those comments from MJF and possibly CM Punk once again coming back and facing the supposed best wrestler in the world in MJF?
Well, now that we know who won the damn thing, all we got to do is have a match. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I mean, and CM Punk, I got a T-shirt laying around here that says "Best in the World." So, why don't we play the game? Maybe I'll bust out a Triple H shirt.
Well, right.
The thing is, he's good, but if you're gonna sell something like you just said, CM Punk will wipe the ceiling with this guy. I mean, CM Punk is one of the best. There's another guy you got to throw in the realm of things too. How much would it go if you had a CM Punk against a Roman Reigns?
Well, I tell you right now, I'm dreaming of that match, but I don't know if it's ever going to happen because of the real life heat that CM Punk not only has with WWE and the company as a whole, but with Triple H. With these comments, does this kind of set up, Ralph, for you the way you see it, CM Punk versus MJF?
Yeah, that could happen, but I think the AEW is going to wait until Omega leaves, because that was the scrum between Omega and the Young Bucks and CM Punk in that back room, or that locker room scrum. Also, too, Omega and the Young Bucks, they don't have the power they used to have anymore. It seems like Tony Khan has taken everything over. He's got Tony Schiavone as his top assistant there. So it seems like those guys have been sort of left out to pasture. So with that happening, and if the Bucks leave too, it looks like CM Punk could come back, and then that would be great to see some more rematches, because CM Punk has fought MJF already a few times, and I think that would be a great match again. And I think this time CM Punk would really beat him. But CM Punk better get himself in shape if he's going to come back, because he looked dead tired in some of them long matches that he had. He's out of shape. He needs to get back into shape, or wrestling shape.
All right, let's go on to these comments. I'm right. We don't need Lamar Jackson. Okay, your opinion. It's valid at this point. I get it with no money, but I still think he's the best quarterback option.
Yeah, MJF did beat him.
And then MJF beat CM Punk before. No reason to redo it. I think that's the reason why you redo it, because a lot of people want to see MJF and CM Punk all over again, especially with MJF with the title right now. This will never, ever happen. But what are 3 matches you like to see in cross-promotional between AEW and WWE? All right. First, I want to see Sting and Undertaker. I don't care how old they are. Damn it, bring them back. Let's friggin' do it.
Yeah.
It's almost like NWO versus D-Generation X in WrestleMania San Francisco.
Yeah.
It was long overdue, and those guys were past their prime, which, by the way, didn't make any sense because NWO was against Sting, not for Sting, but at that moment they were. But it was great to see. I want to see Sting versus Undertaker. I want to see Chris Jericho versus Seth Rollins. And
I'd like to see Kenny Omega go up against Roman Reigns.
Well,
yeah, I want to see that too. I mean, there's so many great matches at the end of the day. You can definitely look at.
I wouldn't mind.
I'd like to see the Young Bucks go up against the Usos.
There you go.
The NWO going against the Shield.
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen because Scott Hall is dead there, Mark.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying,
right
before all this.
I mean, right now, AEW versus WWE. Let's think about.
Well, I would go CM Punk.
Okay.
Versus Roman Reigns.
Okay, that's one.
I want to see a Kenny Omega and a Seth Rollins.
Wow.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the Young Bucks, maybe against the Usos.
Wow. Ralph?
That's a good match.
Rematches.
Yeah. Well, the one that he mentioned there, the Young Bucks and the Usos, Omega versus the Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk.
Wow. There you go. Good stuff, guys. All right. On that note, let's go ahead and end it here. Ralph Williams, prayers to you and your family. Go ahead and promote yourself here on The Evolution, my friend.
Love him.
Yeah, my email is ralphwilliams737@gmail.com. Check out my YouTube channel. I'm up to 90 subscribers. I need 10 more to make 100.
Nice.
Check out all my archive shows. We have The Way I See It, Talking Wrestling, Ralph Williams 101. I just did a fresh one today on that. And I also can be reached on Facebook, Twitter, Wimkin, and LinkedIn as well. And I welcome your comment.
I got to read this. I got to read this comment right here. Omega versus Rollins. MJF versus AJ Styles. Whoa. Look at that one. Oh. And Reigns versus Mox Hardcore.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't.
I would like, I want to throw a woman in there. I'd like to have Scarlett go against Charlotte Flair.
Well, I think you love to see that match. I'd love to see Scarlett in the match with you, my friend. And we all know that. I'll tell you another thing. What about Sammy Guevara? What about him in a match versus somebody, a young superstar, maybe a Damian Priest, not a Nick Mysterio, but
no. Here we go. Sammy Guevara against Austin Theory.
Whoa, there you go.
That would be a great match.
Britt Baker versus Charlotte. How about that?
That would be an interesting match.
Wow. Saraya versus Bianca Belair. How do you like that, gentlemen?
Oh yeah. How about Jake Hager versus Brock Lesnar?
Whoa! Wow, they tried to do that a long time ago. That was a Brock Lesnar smash.
You know what would be an interesting match?
Yes,
Trish Stratus against Bianca Belair.
Oh yeah. Well, but I think they'll eventually. I don't know if they're going to do that, but they have her joining up with Becky and Lita there coming up on WrestleMania. How about this one? TBS champion, which I believe is who? Jade
Cargill. Yeah. Versus Bianca. That's a good match.
That is a great match. And she still has not lost a wrestling match.
Let me tell you, keep your eye on Montez Ford.
Yes.
He breaks away. He's going to be he'll be bigger than Austin Theory.
He is. Yes, I agree with you on that.
Yes,
I definitely think he could be a superstar. Great on the mic, great wrestling moves. He's got everything you want. Ralph, thanks a lot for your time, my friend. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Cheers, baby.
All right, good stuff there. Goodbye. See you later. Mark, go ahead and promote yourself here on The Evolution.
Well, we're off in Philly for a couple of weeks. Marianne's on tour, so we're on a vacation. We come back on the 30th, WWDB AM 860. Meanwhile, across the boards, I'm interviewing Kip Gross, former Cincinnati Red, LA Dodger, next week. And back with the XM guys and all that. And I can't wait for next week with this show, because this is the show that is definitely number one in the Tampa suburbs.
I appreciate you, my friend. Mark Mancini.
I love you, brother.
Love you too, brother. Former XPW announcer, the madman himself. Thanks a lot for making your way here on Turnbuckle Talk.
Say hi to your mom. Say hi to Harry, and everybody else, and James.
Will do. Appreciate you. Good stuff there, Mark. All right. Great stuff tonight, guys. Lots of debate, lots of passion. Thanks to all the guests, the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout, and now media member of Nine Sports Productions, Amped Up Sports, of course. My co-host, Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. The guys right there, Mark Mancini, former XPW announcer, and the bodyguard of the Berg, Mr. Ralph Williams. Let me go out to James. Love the show. Thanks for letting me chat, man. Always welcome, James, here on The Evolution. If you want to talk wrestling, if you want to talk Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if you want to talk NFL draft, if you want to talk about your favorite NFL team, like and subscribe to the Sports Web. YouTube chats are always open. Like I Love St. Pete, Amped Up Sports, and the Hub. And do three things for me on this happy
Hump Day
edition. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And fans of the sports web and Bucs fans, it's your time. See you next time.